Wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. Welcome back. It's Monday. Welcome back to the show. This is the two Dum Yinzers. I want to say welcome back. Episode 979, just 21 short days away from the big 1,000 here at the two Dum Yinzers. Guys, coming up on the 5-year anniversary. It's going to be here before we know it. Less than a month away. It's going to be July 5th. Will be the big celebration here on the show. That is less than a month away. And then we will hit our summer break, be back just in time to start getting prepared for training camp for our Pittsburgh Steelers. Lots going on this summer, guys. Lots going on all off season. Great to be here on this Monday morning. I do want to say welcome back, everybody. Michael, how you be?
Brother, I'm good, man. It's good to be back here. 2 days and of not talking Steeler football has driven me crazy. It's made me miss Cody. Not being on the show, so we need to be here so I can get those feelings of love and appreciation out of my system for Cody.
Gross.
I know, right?
A lot of things to get into this week, Mike. It was a busy weekend for our low pro teams and our Pittsburgh Pirates this weekend, and I got to be honest with you, it wasn't as fun as last weekend was. We'll get to all those scores and stories in just a moment, Mike. But we do have a lot of Steelers stuff to get into today, as the guys are back at OTAs today through Friday, only missing Wednesday. That is their day off this week in the OTAs. There's a lot going on, Mike. And then, of course, next month is training camp at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. So a lot of people getting excited as we were just a mere 97 days away from the kickoff to the Pittsburgh Steelers season, if you can believe that or not. I can remember, Mike, when we were 100 days away from the draft. And look how far we've already came past that point into this off season. Again, like 97 days until we kick off regular season football right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm pumped, baby.
I'm pumped. I can't wait. 97 days. I think 93 days for the NFL, I believe. So football is right around the corner, and once we see that. Those ugly, boring first games of the season that we don't care about. Boom. Stellars will be back. That's all we care about is the Stellars, baby.
Absolutely. And if you are paying attention to any spring football, the UFL guys, they are coming to a conclusion this coming weekend. Mike, as the championship rounds did go down this weekend, it went down yesterday, as a matter of fact, in the UFL. DC ends up beating Orlando 28-22. So they're back to the finals, and they will be facing the Louisville Kings, Mike, who beat the St. Louis Battlehawks 29-20 yesterday. So next Saturday, 3 o'clock, the United Bowl between DC and Louisville. And I can't even imagine who you're going to take in this game, Mike. Who do you want in Louisville and in DC?
I'm taking the beer snake all the way, baby. Let's go DC.
All right, that's cool.
Beer snake for the win.
I'm going to take Louisville, obviously, because you took DC. But that, guys, is coming up Saturday. And you know what? Again, Mike, just another bar that you could watch as you were trying to inch closer to football season, because the UFL is almost done. Championship again this weekend, Mike, and that always comes in June. And once that's done, you're just right around the corner. So we're just that much closer to the Pittsburgh Steelers getting back at it this season, guys. Also, Mike, other series that you and I are involved in, the Knicks go up 2-0 in a series over the San Antonio Spurs after they win 105-104 on Friday night. They're back at it tonight for Game 3. This one will be at Madison Square Garden. Spurs at Knicks tonight, 8:30 jump ball.
Wemby, get your shit together. You're letting me down. You're letting me down.
And then also, Mike, in the NBA, in the NHL, the Golden Knights, they win whenever they played yesterday, the day before, Saturday. They win 5-4 in double overtime, go up 2-1 in their series. Mike, Game 4 will be tomorrow at 8 o'clock at Las Vegas.
Dude, that game was insane. It was nuts. Like, what, 3 goals in like 30 seconds or some shit like that. It was a wild ending, man. It's why I love playoff hockey. It might be the best of any sport out there. Playoff hockey, it's the best, man. Check it out if you're not watching it. It's drama filled from puck drop to the final whistle.
So today and tomorrow, NBA tonight, NHL tomorrow, as those finals rounds continue on here in June, as they always do. Mike, here in Steel City over the weekend, our Pirates, we were on the road, actually. We come home today, start a series with the Dodgers tomorrow, a 3-game set with the Dodgers. Mike, but the best team in baseball, they handed it to the Pirates. They beat us all 3 games. They win yesterday 3-2 over the Pirates. Mike, the Pirates dropped 34-32. Again, back at it tomorrow, hosting the Dodgers.
Buckos, you're breaking my heart. But come on now, there's plenty of time to rebound. Let's get our shit together, and let's start winning some games. You guys can compete with everyone. I know we got a couple guys hurt, but those are excuses, man. I want results. Also, Mike, the people that kick balls. That's right. Our soccer ball teams here in Pittsburgh, the Riveters, the ladies first. Mike, they win 4-0 over Flower City. Their next game is Friday at Erie Sports Center. And the guys, their counterparts, Mike, they finished a 0-0 draw. They'll be hosting Indy 11 on Saturday at 11 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I'm sorry. Yeah. And, hey, man, watch them. And then we got World Cup right around the corner, too, man. There's a lot of sports going on locally and nationally, man. This is how we get by. There's no way to get the Steelers season if you don't have this. Yes. It's not exactly the heroin, but a good dose of methadone will get you through. Mike, speaking of kicking balls, the gals, Mike, that played on the gridiron here in Pittsburgh, they dropped the ball to a really good team. I don't want to take anything away from DC. The DC Divas come to town. Yeah. Mike, every time it seems that we always win there, and then they come here and win here. It's very similar to a Ravens series if you really get into it and start watching. But our gals, Mike, the Pittsburgh Passion, they drop their game against DC 33-29, albeit a great game. Pittsburgh were not able to finish it off. The ladies were not. They're sitting at 4-1 going to their last game of the season. Mike, next week they will be hosting Cincinnati. I have faith that Mackay and the rest of the girls will get there. We'll get back up to where they were. They're a tough team. And like you said, DC's a tough team as well. And one thing you got to remember about Mackay Chavez, she was here on the show with us, Mike, and she's so soft-spoken, and it's wild to see her running down the field because she's one of these people where she got the war paint on her face, and I mean she's always ready to go, and she's always on, and you hear her talk.
As a matter of fact, I was watching last week, and she's just a beast. She's running people over, and she said something to the referee. And sometimes you could pick it up on the camera, the audio. It
Yeah.
was just the most softest sounding voice ever. It's so weird to see.
Yeah.
But it don't mix much. But I tell you what, the lady has skills at playing football, man.
It reminds me of, no shit, I'm not lying, not exaggerating. Troy Polamalu was the same way. Soft spoken, but
Very similar.
Once between the lines, it was go time. And just out there wrecking havoc. But then though too, like they would, get the audios of Troy. He'd be talking shit, but it was all soft spoken. It's just wild.
It's exactly like that.
How are people are like that? Can be that fired up, that animated, but when they're speaking, they're so calm and cool. And that was what makes people like that dangerous in their sports.
Absolutely. And finally, I do want to say this. I didn't forget to mention it. Do hop on. You have all the way up until June 29th. You could get on and vote for your favorite Pittsburgh Pirates, Mike, for the All-Star game. We do have a few guys that should be there, so get on, make your vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day. As I said, that goes the rest of the way through the month. So do get on and get some Pirates into the All-Star game. Again, Mike, they're not going to get the national support, but as long as people in Pittsburgh that actually see what they do day to day, get their support, and maybe we can get some people into that All-Star game. So do get on either MajorLeague.com or PittsburghPirate.com or anywhere, as a matter of fact. Get on and get your votes in. A lot of things to get into today, Mike, as we are back into the OTAs. This is OTAs number 7, 8, 9, and 10 in this particular program that's going on. They'll wrap it up this Friday. No OTAs on Wednesday. It's just Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday this week. A lot of news to get into, a lot of stories, headlines, and so much more to get into today. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yes, what's going on? How you doing, Mike? You went to the movies yesterday.
I did. I went to the movies. Took the little boy to go see The Amazing Digital Circus. He has all the plushies. He watches the show on YouTube. Yeah, like I'm gonna say like 30 minutes in, he's like, I want to go home. I'm like, okay. It's loud. He looked a little scared. Then halfway down the steps, like, I want to come back. I want to keep watching. All right, let's go. About another half hour into it, he was like, no, I'm done. Like it was way too loud for him. I think it was loud for me too. And he said he was done. Last time we took him to the movies, he had a good old time. He had a great time. So I think it was just the volume was cranked up too loud. And it's something he normally watches on his YouTube, and he's able to fast forward through parts that might scare him. And he wasn't here. And I think he was like, no, I'm out. I'm tapping out, Dad.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. You guys get out and enjoy some movies. I noticed through social media, a lot of people getting out with their kids this weekend. It seemed like there was a He-Man movie. There was the movie that you're talking about. A lot of different things out there. Seemed pretty popular over the weekend as far as people with children go. I know that Chop took his daughter and a few other people. So it looks like everybody's having fun. Everybody except the people that were supposed to go to the Morgan Waller concert on Saturday. Of course, the big Morgan Waller concert. Apparently, this is a country singer who's popular, and he had a big show here at the stadium on Saturday. It got canceled during the day because of projected forecast coming in.
Yeah.
And Mike, I don't even know that it even rained here where I'm sitting. What's the story on this?
For what I gathered, there's anticipated that there was going to be a big storm, but a storm came through and it wasn't bad. And apparently he was already on his plane leaving before they even announced that they were not going to do the show. They did not inform Acrisure Stadium, that like, hey, like this is what we're doing. And protocol is like you're always in constant communication with the venue. So you're able to handle refunds and crowd
now, is
control
this
and all
fact?
that.
Because I'm seeing pictures here. People are saying that he was signing autographs till 1 a.m. Now, I've heard what you've said, and I've seen that people are upset about this, but I don't know if that's been confirmed. Because again, somebody come out and said that there's pictures of him at the stadium signing autographs till 1 a.m. So I don't know what the story is. I think just the funniest part was they canceled it so early.
Yeah.
And there was barely even any rain. I mean, from what I was expecting, I'm seeing across the country there's tornado news and people were taking cover. I'm like, we barely had rain that day. And it's, come on.
Yeah, like I've been to outdoor shows where it's rained and, these acts go out there and they play through the rain and it makes the show that much better. And this guy, I'm going to say it, he bitched out. He bitched out.
Interesting. I don't know enough about it. I will look into it, but I do know from what I understand, the initial story was what you were saying, and then as the weekend went on, I am seeing whether I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I just kind of figured maybe that you might know, but that is what's going on here in the Berg. A lot of people upset, of course. They wanted to get to the big Morgan Waller show on Saturday night, Mike. That was canceled again by the weather, and the show they won't make it up, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's not being made up. I think they offered something. It was like free tickets to something else that wasn't even equivalent to.
Yeah, it was like the Washington Wild Things baseball.
Yes, it was the Washington Wild Things. No disrespect for the Washington Wild Things, but
yeah.
Wow, talk about a drop of like your entertainment dollar.
Well, Mike, Metallica and Slipknot can't play tonight, but you could go watch the community college basketball team if that makes sense.
Right? You know? It's more or less the equivalent of.
Yeah. Lots to get into, guys. Again, 97 days away from kickoff for the Pittsburgh Steelers right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Guys, just 97 more days. It is OTA week, the last week for the OTAs. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday this week. A lot to get into, Mike, and there's no better time to do that than right now. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Good morning, wherever you be coming in, and even maybe good evening, depending on where you're at in the world. I do want to start by saying what's up to everybody. I'm going to go right here to Warhammer King. He says, hey, I want to say hey to Warhammer. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here. Good afternoon. It is Monday. It is summer. And you know how I know it's summer, Mike? Because it's fucking hot.
Oh, it's hot as balls.
It's hot. It's hot in the studio. Let's go down. Tortilla says, what's up? All the way from Sacramento, California. Love seeing my man Tortilla in the house. What's up to you, brother? My man, the original OG, and he is the original OG, Mike. It's just not his title. It's true. It's very true. The original OG, Yinzer Joe says this. He says, hello to Dum Yinzers and Yinzer family. I almost said Yinzer Jew, but it was the combination, Mike, of Yinzer Joe and two Dum Yinzers coming together a little too early. But there you go, Yinzer Joe. Welcome back to the show, my friend. Hope all is going well for you. Tyrone, I think about you a lot over the weekend. I thought about you because I'm gathering all this information and stuff for the show, and some things here that, again, I think that it's just a stepping stones of where we're at in this whole process. But of all the Joey Porter things and Herbig things and contract scoop, and Mike, you and I talked. I think you have a little bit to talk about today.
Yep.
As far as some of these contracts go. But I thought of Ty, of course, Mike, and being the big JPJ fan, and he has it right there. JPJ, the GOAT. The GOAT Ty is in the house. We are going to talk about the GOAT JPJ today. I do want to say to Tortilla, he says, I'm voting for Dennis Santana. That's awesome, dude. Is he even still with us? You know what? The thing with that is the pitchers. I don't think we even vote on the pitchers. We vote on position players, and then they do the pitchers later. I think that's how it goes down, because right now you can only pick the position players. But a lot of people, there are a handful of guys that should, in fact, be in this all-star game. So do jump on, get them guys voted in. Let's go to Tortilla. Back to Tortilla. He says Morgan Wallen canceled the concert because Derpy was going. You know what? He might have been. I don't know.
You know what? I'm not a Morgan Wallen fan. I don't like the guy.
I never even heard of her.
That might be a legitimate excuse. You know, Derpy's coming. You got to cut bait at that point. But you know, Derpy might be a spy because he is the president of the Taylor Swift fan club. I
don't know anything she does, Morgan Waller. I never heard of her. Just kidding. I know it's a guy, of course. But anyway, I don't know. I had little to no interest in the story until it got rained out. Then I thought, okay, this is catching my attention again, because I don't know. I might have seen about 4 raindrops that day, but hey, who am I to say? I don't make the calls. Let's go on back to the original OG. And Joey says Morgan likes to get women wet. He doesn't like to get wet.
I like it when I get the women wet and then they get me wet.
I was just thinking of that the other day. Not you or in any kind of way. But did you notice, Mike, the hot lesbians don't have the allure that they used to have?
They do not.
Now that everybody's a lesbian, it's because back in the day, remember, it was always, you'd find 2 hot chicks kissing and you're like, yeah. And it was always something. But now in 2026, the lure of lesbians, hot lesbians, it's not there anymore. And I don't know what happened. I don't know. Just speaking of getting wet, let's move on. Let's go to Tortilla. He says Cody is a Yinzer Jew, and he is in fact our Yinzer Jew. Cody, that's what Tortilla says. And finally, Mark Malone says super mild here so far. Nice flooding rains overnight. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. Glad to hear that nothing too terrible has came your way, Mark. But it's always great to hear from the man, the myth, the mustache, Mark Malone. That's a lot of M's.
That is.
The man, the myth, the mustache, Mark Malone. I like it. But welcome back, everybody. Glad to see us today. We got a lot to get into, Mike, and it's go time. It's OTAs. It's wrapping up this week, and we are only just about 97 days from the season kicking off here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I do want to take another moment or so to welcome Lindsay to the show. Always great seeing Lindsay on the terrible board, Mike. She had a great week last week, of course, grabbing the game ball at the end of the week. Always great to see her. Hope she had a great weekend. Let me go. Let me go to Sauce. Sauce says this. Hey, Ty, I just checked the updated cap space for 2027. It's down to $5 million. I don't know how we will sign JPJ. Honestly, he might be gone. I don't think that's going to happen, but you know what? We'll get into why we don't think that's going to happen and so much more today on the show. Welcome back. Glad to see everybody here today. Yeah, Michael, Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, hold on. A magic word caught my eye. I have to grab Yinzer Joe real quick. He says, yes, now the gays and lesbians are normal sight to see everyday life. I can't even watch TV. Listen, I don't care. I have zero problem. People can do whatever the hell they want. I don't want anybody telling me what the hell to do. But anyway, my big beef is this. When they were really pushing, they put the hot lesbians out front. And they were kissing and licking and touching and caressing and grabbing. And now, like Joe said, now the things are normal, which they should be, and they should have been. It's not as exciting as it was back then, Mike, because, again, the lesbians get a little less hot over the years, and they just start looking like every average other day person, which they are, and it's a good thing. But at the end of the day, I miss the days of hot lesbian passion everywhere you look, Mike.
What the hell is it? Was it on WWE? A little hot lesbian action?
Yeah, everything had lesbians. Listen, in the 90s and into the early 2000s, I mean, that was the golden era for lesbians. I don't care who you are. If you like lesbians,
it was like lesbians everywhere. It's like when the dudes and then like the lesbians are like, hell yeah, she's hot. Hell yeah, brother, she's hot. Yeah,
I love lesbians.
And they don't love. Oh, they might love you.
No, that's why they're lesbians, because of people like me.
They love you as a human being.
They probably don't, but whatever. I don't care. I don't know what the hell people think, what's going on in their minds. All I'm saying is this, Mike. I don't think that we see enough, and I would love to go back to those days. I'm just saying. Let's scoot along a little bit here. I want to say Tortilla. He says JPJ already signed. Guys, I also have this bit of information right here. If I can't just find it real quick. If I can, I will say, but I may not have it. Just give me one moment. I thought that I had it. Okay, here we go. Mike Jerry Dulac reports Steelers haven't started serious discussions with JPJ yet, is the latest word that I read from our media. And that was this morning. Jerry Dulac saying that they don't even start serious discussions yet with JPJ, but I wouldn't be discouraged by that. And I can understand how you could be if you are a fan patiently waiting for your guy to be signed. We do have a lot to get into today, and I think some things may get eased for you a little bit as we do go on. Let's go through the rest of these messages here. Let's go right here to Sosh. I might be trolling Ty a bit. I'm sure they'll find space. Hey, dude, have a blast, man. Have a blast.
Poor Ty.
Poor Ty. Let's go right here but I do want to say welcome to Sosh all the way from Switzerland, baby. Welcome back to the show, my man. Tater in the house. And you know what, Lindsay? It's not. I don't know if you missed it or not. He's actually jumped over to the 49ers. Tater has jumped over to being a 49ers fan, which listen, I'm encouraged by this.
Yes. Because
I thought that he was one of these guys that was going to be a Browns fan through and through. And I thought, oh, there's no chance with this guy. He's just going to kind of be here for, ours and his entertainment, I guess we could say. But Mike, seeing him make the move to another team, that's somewhat encouraging. So just we'll keep working on you, Tater. Everything is going to be all right. You just stick here with us, buddy. But San Francisco for this year is, in fact, Tater's squad. Yeah,
You know,
good.
I think Tater, moving away from the Browns to the 49ers is going to help him in Lindsey's relationship.
Possibly. It's
I think
possible.
so. I think so. That's the rumor on the street.
All right. All right. That's I'll take it for what it is. Let's go right here to Richard. My man JPJ isn't going anywhere. He was born a Steeler. I couldn't agree with you more, Richard. And I do want to say I hope you had a great weekend, my friend. We're back to OTAs today, days 7, 8, 9, and 10 of this 10-day program. Tomorrow, today, Thursday, Friday. They'll be off Wednesday. They'll wrap it up. But we are, guys, just 97 days away from kicking the ball off here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the regular season. And as I was saying to Mike at the top of the show, a lot of you guys were here with us throughout the whole offseason. Do you remember when we were 97, 100 days out from the draft? Well, guess what? The draft came, gone, and it's already been a couple months. So, guys, it's here. We'll be here before we know it. And as all the things we stated earlier, Mike, the things that we got to get through, the Passions football season is just about done. The UFL football season is just about done. And you know when them seasons are done, you're getting close. So I'm very giddy. I'm getting, and at the end of the day, Mike, I'm sitting down. I'm getting notes and everything ready for the show. And I just can't wait to talk and hear what people have to say about our Steelers as we are just 97 days away from the show or from the first game. And I'm super pumped because between then and now, Mike, we have training camp up in St. Vincent College, and a lot of people from the show and the board coming into town. A lot of exciting things still coming, Mike. But again, 97 days from kickoff.
It came Hayward days away. As my light goes out, this is some bullshit. I blame Tater for that. But yes, I can't wait, man. It's right around the corner.
And that's not even mentioning preseason. So, I mean,
yeah, that's like training camp, dude. Once it gets to training camp, that's what I get. I'm going to be totally fired up for it, man. I can't wait for training camp to arrive.
Me too. I know Chris is coming in town from South Florida. I know that Steele's coming in town from North Carolina. Some other people, some other names. It's going to be a lot of fun this year up at camp. And I just want to. Here's somebody. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Vegas. Somebody asked about the town that St. Vincent College is in. Just go and Google. Like it's just a farm town, just like every other farm. Like I told, even Penn State. I said the other day, Mike. Every other college in this state besides Pitt and Penn State's even out there and it's by itself. So at the end of the day, if you just go on and Google, you could kind of get an idea of what you got going on in St. Vincent. Just a farm town, a lot of land, a lot of space. If you are coming to town, that is what is going on in St. Vincent. But you can check it out pretty easy. It can be very simple to look up. Let's get back on the board right here. I'm going to go to, I do want to say, Richard, welcome. Hope you had a good weekend, my friend. Let's go to Lindsay here. She says, are you a Chiefs fan, Tater? And I saw that, and that's why I did jump ahead. Tater is now a 49ers fan. So I'm thinking, Mike, maybe he's one of these guys that go to a different team every year, every time that he's not satisfied. So we're within 30 years of being able to pull Tater in entirely, just depending on how soon he wants to surrender and, do the right thing.
Dude, I have a feeling like, if we keep on him, this could be like a Stockholm type situation. Like, he'll just like eventually we'll beat him down enough, and then he'll fall in love with us, and then fall in love with the team. I think it's not going to take
in
that
love
long.
with Lindsay, and
that's the first step. You hook him with the pretty girl, then you get him in, and then you rescue the pretty girl so she does is not affected with him anymore. This is how college. I mean, this is how fandoms are built.
See, this is what I was thinking as well, but I think you've given a little bit too much information away already on that. But
I'm rocking and rolling today on cold coffee.
You would take this coffee every day.
I know it's not good for me or the show when I drink coffee. It's better when I drink alcohol and I'm belligerent and yelling at everyone.
How is you had this whole diet and everything? How's that going?
So I'm eating less. I'm like maintaining right now. I'm eating less. The cravings aren't there, but I feel them slowly kicking back in. So I gotta think about something here. What I gotta do. Yeah, that's the hard thing. Like my entire life, I've always had like I would eat, and then my body's like, okay, what are we eating again? We're hungry.
You're only
you're not.
pushing
Shut
50.
Up.
I mean, it's
dude. It's a tough battle.
What really works. And listen, I'm not. Don't go by me when it comes to taking care of yourself. But I hear walking is like the best thing for you. Do you walk? Like, do you have like a regimen where you go out?
I've been starting to walk. Yeah, me and the kid.
Because it's hot. So, I mean, that obviously would have some kind of effect. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's get back on the board. Yes. Let's go right here to Mark Malone. I can still blast off a load in less than a minute and a threesome. Yeah, me too, baby. Me too. Let's go, Mark, my friend. Welcome back as always. Let's go here to Lindsay. Lindsay says, "Damn, Pride was in Pittsburgh yesterday. I was down there. It was hectic. Yeah, and I'm not going to say that's not the reason that's the reason I didn't go down. I'm just going to say a lot of people were there, and that be the reason. But yes, the Pride Day was in Pittsburgh yesterday. Of course, this is Pride Month. Let's go to see what Mark is saying. Mark says Steelers are talking with JPJ's agent about trades. Again, the board is already starting. Let's go here to Tater, Cody, and Tortilla were there. I heard too. Wait, where were they?
They were at Pride. I think that's what was implied. That's what I'm going with, brother.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. So, all is good. Let's scoot along a little bit here. Tortilla, he says, I'm on your couch, Taters, where I'm at. I'm on your couch. Let's go to Tyrone. He says it's called reconstruct last two plays. yeah, bro. I mean, don't worry, Ty. You just relax. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. I'm telling you, dude. It's gonna be fine. Always me, laugh my ass. It's all good, brother. Joe says that Tyrone, you shouldn't talk dirty to Tater on his couch. You might disappear. You might disappear. Also, Tortilla says this Steelers have $15.5 million if they trade Highsmith next year. This is probably what's going to happen. I think eventually, Mike. Tater on. We did get that. Tater on, Tater off. And then, and also, yes, it is in Westmoreland County. And a matter of fact, if you pull anything up on Google and it's in Westmoreland County, it's going to look a lot like farmland to you. But you're 100% right. St. Vincent College is in Westmoreland County. Let's continue down here to Tater's Island. Tater's Island.
Hopefully, it's not like Epstein's Island.
I don't know. I don't know what they do over there in Europe, but let's go here to Lindsay says incline walking is very good. Yeah. Find a hill, man. That's that'll burn shit quick. Let's go here to Tortilla. He says, "This call me Octopus Pride. Call me Octopus Pride. I could do that." Tyrone says, "Lindsay, I'm sorry, has Tater Couch at Yinzer Joe." And finally, JPJ is getting traded. Lindsay. usually she's the voice of
fire with fire.
Usually she's the voice of reason. But you know what? After that comment, let's go here to Tortilla. He said Elon Musk sent Tater's couch to space, hooked up with AI to fight the aliens. Who knows what the hell you could find on that couch? But there you go, everybody. Let's get into it, Mike. Let's talk a little bit. Listen, we're going to talk about JPJ. We're going to talk about everything, but let's start it out with this because, of course, the big story from last week was this big deal, the big contract given to Nick Herbig. Mike, a few things that I do want to say about this. At first, I do want to say this. And then I'm going to pass the mic to you because, again, I know that you have something you want to talk about. But as far as Omar Khan, Mike, we sat here at the beginning of this, the whole process. And we said, geez, oh, man, we got to sign Washington. We got to sign Herbig. We have to sign Benton. And, we got Herbig and Washington taken care of, Mike. And then also, as I'm seeing today, I don't know to what extent, but I did see that RB said that he is hearing that they are very close to getting the Benton deal done, which is what I heard last week, Mike, is they were working on the deal last week, and then the news came out with Washington. So I do believe that was probably being worked on. And as I said earlier, Mike, Dulac reported this morning, Steelers haven't started serious discussions with JPJ yet. That's just, in my opinion, the official word. Whether they did or they didn't, I don't know to what extent. And I'm sure they're prepared to get started and start talking to him. But, Mike, I think something about this, and again, I don't want to make it about JPJ yet because we're getting there. I want to talk about these guys that got signed and eventually JPJ. Mike, Omar Khan, I think the work that he's doing with this team, I say this all the time. I think it's pretty incredible. The fact that he's doing things that we as Steeler fans have never seen in our entire life. And I made the joke last week. We could have been doing this all along. Why haven't we been doing these things to make our team better all along? And it's Omar Khan, Mike. For whatever reason, whether he's gotten the go-ahead by the owners, whether he's just that good of a GM, whatever the case is, Mike, Omar Khan has been a success, in my opinion. Times in the past, we might have brought free agents over, things wouldn't have worked, and we kind of started trying to figure things out. Omar Khan's right back at it, pulling the trigger, Mike, bringing in trades, bringing in free agents, getting these extensions taken care of, Mike. And he did something pretty clever with the two big contracts last week that you were telling me about. I'm going to pass the ball over to you, Mike, and explain what it is that makes Omar Khan a genius this week.
So yeah, we're hearing the numbers of these contracts, like what, $142 million just between, $142 million combined between Herbig and Darnell Washington. You're like, oh my god, they're like, that seems like a lot of money being shelled out for two guys that were primarily backups but key players. Finally, all the contracts breakdowns have been released. Darnell Washington is only guaranteed $11.25 million. His contracts, like, we can get out of them just about any year and kind of be comfortable with them. Like, more or less, both of their contracts are 2-year deals that expire in 2028, because that's after going into the 2029 season. That's when you start getting really good dead cap space versus cap saving money. For more or less for 2026, 2027, 2028, that's all we're going to be paying Darnell Washington. And then if he starts sucking in 2029, we can cut him and save about, and only be penalized $4 million, but we're saving $6 million. So he's saving $2 million there. But if he's good there, then going into that final year, we can cut him and save $7 million. So right now, Darnell Washington's contract is technically a 2-year deal, if that.
So basically, in other words, what you're saying is these deals that he's making, they're basically protecting us.
Yeah, they're huge time. Like,
instead of in the past where people give shitloads of money away and you get stuck with these contracts, Omar Khan he wrote up these contracts, Mike, to where it protects us, which is amazing and a great thing to do, because again, it's debatable. I know a lot of people love him. I know a lot of people may disagree, Mike, but again, at the end of the day, somebody like, for example, TJ Watt gets all this money, and halfway through the contract, he's not performing up to standard. So basically what's going on with this work that Omar Khan did, it protects the Steelers in a way where if anything goes awry or anything, we do have wiggle room now. We do have hand in this situation, and we could treat it accordingly, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. And like Washington's cap number, when his new contract starts, is 11.3 million, and then the next year it drops down to 9.75. So we get cap relief a little bit of cap relief in year 2. Then it jumps up a little in the last 2 years, but that jump in the last 2 years, that's when you can cut the guy if the play starts diminishing there. And then Herbig contracts the same way, $100 million. That's what we're seeing, $25 million average. He's only guaranteed $21 million. And his contract is more or less the same way. You play out this year in the final year of your rookie deal where you got your upfront guaranteed money, and then it turns into a 2-year deal. Because in year 3, you can cut him and you're getting back $7 million. The final year of his contract, you're going to say, if you have to cut him, you're saving $20 million. So these contracts are bargains for the Steelers. Once you get past the big eye-popping numbers of how much they are worth, once you start breaking down the numbers, it's not that bad of a contract, and how we can manipulate the cap. And these are great, man. They're really, you sign 2 young guys to 2-year deals, and if they end up playing well to deserve their full contract by year 3 and 4, you've hit a bargain on these guys. These guys are now underpaid. And guess what? The end of Herbig's contract, he'll be 29. Same thing with Darnell Washington. At that point, they might not get their 3rd contract, because you're hoping the way Khan and Weedle have been drafting, that continues, and you have that next wave of young player to get their big contract, and then those guys move on. And it'll be even better if you can move on from them a year or 2 early to lock up that next wave and keep that cycle going. These contracts are great contracts. Yeah, the players get rewarded, but the team also gets an out too if these guys don't play well. These were perfect win-win contracts. We should be lucky that Omar Khan is our GM, because he cut his teeth on making all these contracts for when Kevin Colbert was the GM. He was noted as the salary cap guru of the NFL. Steelers were doing a lot of this stuff before other teams were.
So this is all encouraging. So again, this protects the Steelers in a way, Mike, that maybe contracts should have been being done for a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this is kind of something the kind of direction that I lean, because at the end of the day, you offer a guy up front mad money and they go out and they only earn X amount of money. I think that there should be a little bit of control
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and that kind of in a roundabout way makes you accountable for all the money that you are going to be earning moving forward. So Mike, this I'm encouraged by. When you told me this, I thought I love it. I don't just like it, I love it. And it just reminds me how much I'm excited about Omar Khan doing what he does, Mike. And right now, again, this is the funnest I've had in my life. Now listen, we've been to Super Bowls. We won Super Bowls. We've done many of things the Steelers have in the 40 or so years that I've watched the team, Mike. But right now, it's exciting to me for that reason. The fact that Omar Khan is in there, he's doing the things that he does. And Mike, every year it seems like he's able to make the adjustments that we used to sit around for years sometimes and wait to be made.
And it gets even better. Next year, we can cut Jalen Ramsey and save $21.7 million flat. There's no dead cap hit. And hey, if Rico doesn't work out, we can cut him and save $3.5 million. If Day doesn't work out, we can cut him and save another $3.5 million.
You got to think for somebody like Dowdle, though. For Rico, we've gone the last 3 years with 3 different running backs. So I mean, I think that's a chance anyway.
Yeah,
anyway you look at it.
Yeah, it's just saying like it gets even better and better. You look at those big contracts, and they even do it for those other guys that are coming in. It seems like all their street free agents that they think might not be here long term, easy outs in a year or two. It's just a constant. This is like the new philosophy of the Steelers. Draft and develop is still there, but we're going to get bigger named free agents on these quote unquote long-term deals, but they're really 2-year deals to remain competitive while drafting and developing the young guys so they can take over when they come in. This is some really good team building that Omar Khan and we don't have done the past 4 years.
I couldn't agree with you, Mike. Some beat writer wrote this, Mike. They said the JPJ contract will be somewhat similar to what Herbig got. Framework of JPJ's contract extension is what they're talking about. So again, we'll work into JPJ, Mike. But again, I think everything that happened last week warrants how we got to this point. So we're going to kind of get through that, Mike. As again, we got a whole new week, all new stories, all new headlines, all this week, Mike. As OTAs, they do go 4 of the 5 days this week on the South Side, Mike. Very excited about our Steelers at this point in the off season. We're just moving along. Just the train is moving. 97 days till the Steelers kick off at home in the opener. So much going on. Let me jump back on the board, Mike. We do have a lot of topics, a lot of different things to get into. I don't want to leave anybody behind. Let's go right here to this. Let's go back a little bit. Right about here. Lindsay says that's what he gets. Richard says this Tater Island is full of fish, chips, stout beer, and hairy lot lizards. Mike, that sounds like it's right up your ballpark.
Thunder's telling me right now he heard lot lizards and he's like, we are booking plane tickets, brother. We are going out there right now.
Let's go to Tater. Tater says Lindsay and myself have moved on from the couch.
Ooh.
All right. I have to see where this is going. Let's go here to Tortilla. He says, bro, Tater stopped rooting for the Browns and got his shit together. Hey, people got to get off the shit at some point, man. You're looking good. You're looking healthier. I just have to say that, Tater. You're looking healthy nowadays. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. He says, does Travis Homer make the Steelers squad over Caleb Johnson for his special teams experience and running ability? Mike, that's a good question. As we move on and get into camp, who's going to make it? Who's not going to make it? We have a general idea about who 48 people of the 53 will probably be. There's a handful of guys, Mike, that kind of fall into this category. With Homer particularly being a running back, that's an interesting question because it isn't, the Miles Killebrew, who was a safety that basically was a third string guy. Where does Travis Homer fall? Because again, at the end of the day, Mike, Caleb Jones is really fighting for a spot here.
Yeah.
Whether it's for a team or whether it's just for playing time, he's going to be playing his ass off. I'm reading about the two starting on the depth chart. You do have Warren as the starting running back, and you have Dowdle after him, Mike, and they said that they're going to use him interchangeably. They're going to use him to keep fresh legs on the field, which I think is a smart thing. Where does this put Travis Homer, and does this put, again, like Yinzer Joe is asking, does this put Caleb Johnson in jeopardy in any way?
I think it could put Caleb Johnson in jeopardy, unfortunately, because McCarthy wants guys who can do multiple things, and Homer can do multiple things. But if Caleb Johnson goes out there and has a great training camp and has a great preseason to where he's looking like he could be a piece in that running back rotation, okay, then you got to start thinking maybe Eli Hendrickson might be the odd man out. Yes, he's the hometown kid, the awesome story. But if he doesn't have a good training camp, he has liability of being cut. He, was a 7th round pick. Yes, he was a 7th round pick of this regime, and Johnson was a 3rd round pick of the last regime. But still, man, it's still in sports. People do take a look at where you were drafted, the level of competition, stuff like that. If Caleb Johnson can have a great training camp and preseason, he might be a lock. And Homer, if he goes out there and does the duties like we want him to do on special teams, Eli could be the odd man looking out. So there's a pathway to the roster for Caleb Johnson, but I think he has to play extremely well, and hopefully it's a whole of a lot better than what we see out of Eli Hendrickson.
You know what? It's going to be interesting, Mike, because Eli Heinrich does make it. It's going to make the whole process interesting because he is in there. So who knows? Who knows, Mike, how that's going to play out? But again, this just falls into one of the many battles that we are going to see when camp does start next month at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, in Westmoreland County, as mentioned by Yinzer Joe earlier on the board. Let's scoot down here to Lindsay. Lindsay says this. She says, I want to know why you moved on from the Browns. Was it the Myles Garrett trade? That's a pretty fair question. I don't know if he answered or not, so I'm going to continue along and let's see what we do find out. Tater says this. I'm just hoping Evans can be productive in the Shanahan run offense. All right, there you go. He is a 49er fan, guys. We will we listen. We won't cut you loose. We didn't cut you loose as a Browns fan. We certainly won't cut you loose now. You're in the NFC. It's a shame. I like the shit talk of constant interdivisional hatred, but you know what? Who knows? Maybe underneath it all, Tater's an all right guy.
He might be. We'll never know, though.
Well, we may.
I don't know. We
might meet him at the wedding. I mean, come on.
This is true.
Let's go Tortilla. Tortilla says, bro, committed to the bit. I respect it. Also, Yinzer Joe says, Tater moved his couch from Cleveland to San Fran. LOL. Big dirty couch. Let's go down here to full couch. Tortilla is saying, Tater says this, the NFC West is where it's happening now. I already have been accepted by the – no, you keep saying that, the Niners faithful. Which Niners faithful have you been accepted by?
Yeah, that's what I
because that's actually a really good question. Because again, in San Francisco, you don't want to turn down the wrong street. I'm just saying, nothing that there's anything wrong with that. But I'm just wondering what group of 49ers faithful accepted our Tater. I just want to know. Let's move along down here. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says, I like the Steelers are great. I like that the Steelers are the great white shark. You don't know if they're going to attack or swim around and make you until you panic and make mistakes. That was another thing I was reading here, guys, that the Steelers are certainly going under the radar. Mike, again, always getting the national attention that they get, that we see every year. That's never really positive. But you know what? We prove them wrong year after year after year after year. And again, as I said last week, the beginning of the week, Mike, you always hear somebody say this. There's what are you so excited to be a Steeler fan? You haven't won Super Bowl. You won 6 Super Bowls. That's all you talk about. That's all you talk about. Well, you know what? Until your team catches up, we're going to still ask you why it's taking your team so long to catch up with ours, if that's a big problem. So we're going to do what we're going to do. We're not going to shut up. It's just the way it's going to be. We're Steeler fans. You have to deal with it. So F off.
Like, if we suck so bad as a franchise, let's say in the past 10 years, why haven't the Bengals won a Super Bowl in that time? Why haven't the Browns? Why, I think have the Ravens, because I know they won it a little bit after us, but
no, it's been more than 10 years.
Yeah, it's been more than 10 years for them. So why haven't they? None of these teams have lapped us in success. Right. We suck so bad. Like, the only team that really the past 10 years that is catching up to the Steelers is Kansas City.
and it's taken them a dynasty to do it. Listen, 10 years of not winning a playoff game, and still nobody's close to catching up. So that is why we continue to say those things. And I don't know what's going on here, Mike. I don't know if it's the storm's coming. I'm noticing your lights.
Yeah.
I'm noticing my lights. Everything is blinking a little bit. We'll say this right up front. If we do disappear, we apologize. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
I'm looking out the window. It seems kind of bright. That kind of means a lot of times tornadoes, maybe. Mike, if it looks like nice out, but I don't know. Again, tornadoes. I want to see one, but I'm insane. Let's continue on right here to Tater. He says this, Mike, Niners are far bigger and better organizations. No, they're not. Anyway, I don't know why I didn't make the jump sooner, to be honest. Yeah, they're a great organization. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 95. And then people say, well, you said, no, that's not the same. It's not the same. Listen, if you have as many Super Bowls as we have, then you can make that argument.
Yep.
And the Cowboys, Mike, they haven't even been to the NFC Championship game since 96. So 30 years there, 31 years for the 49ers winning a Super Bowl. So, whatever. Let's continue on. I'm going to go here to Tortilla, 53 men on the roster, 49 players in the IR. Ty says this, not a chance, 28 or more. On the JPJ, Lindsay says he's getting 15 max. Tyrone says 25 per year is where they start the negotiations. Let's go 25 max Tyrone. Lindsay keeps saying the original Yinzer Joe says 18 million in a PB&J sandwich. And then I'm going to just scoot right here for a second. Down just a hair where Lindsay says this, Yinzer Joe gets an Uncrustable. Let's go here. Tortilla says the Rams just traded for JPJ and gave him $30 million a year. Tyrone, Lindsay, let's reconstruct TJ so the GOAT can get paid. Let's get 24 paid is what he's saying. Lindsay says TJ declined. Sorry. Tyrone says he don't got no choice. Sorry. Lindsay, he already did. So, It's hot. It's heavy today, Mike. Everybody's kind of chippy. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe it's the weather. Who knows?
It's something going on, man. They're all punching on the board today.
Tortilla says TJ sacked JPJ and his money fell out like the Mario coins. Yinzer says Tater's a bandwagon jumper, not a real fan. Let's go down here. Tortilla, they opened up Alcatraz just for Tater. Also, yeah, go ahead.
Welcome to the Rock. That is Sean Connery in the movie The Rock.
Alcatraz.
Yeah. Never mind.
No, I like Clint Eastwood. I think that The Escape from Alcatraz is one of my favorite movies ever.
That's a good movie.
Tortilla says I called off work to tell Tyrone JPJ. Oh, JPJ joke. Mike, the phones have been ringing. The phones have been ringing since last week. The phones have been ringing since before the draft, Mike. So that's not changed. The phones have been ringing, of course, for Alex Highsmith. People asking questions. I know that the Bears are particularly interested. I know there's teams that are asking also questions about TJ Watt, knowing that we have an overabundance of outside linebackers at this time. 3 of them, to be exact, that could be starting. And Mike, some argue that, of course, number 4 could also be starting as well. The other kid from Ohio State. It's not coming to me at the moment. If you can help me, the white guy.
Jack Sawyer.
So again, people are saying that this kid has a big future, and we've seen him intercepting passes last year on top of other things. So again, Mike, we are looking pretty good at that outside position. But again, Mike, I wouldn't get too excitable about people calling and making inquiries about Highsmith at this point. And that's not saying that I don't think they're going to make any more moves this offseason, because they may.
Yeah.
They may still make moves between now and who knows. But at the end of the day, I personally don't think it's going to be Alex Highsmith. I think that this one gets taken care of after the season, and whether he's traded, whether he's this, whether he's that, I'm not really concerned at that point, Mike. I think any kind of moves and any kind of transactions at this point is going to be taken care of existing contracts, JPJ, and then also, Mike, like I said, they can make a surprise move. They could do things, maybe a little offensive line help, some depth help. I'm sorry, maybe a couple other things. I don't roll it out at this point. Whether it happens, whether it doesn't, nobody knows what Omar Khan is thinking, Mike. But as I said, with him at the helm, I don't doubt anything at this point. There's not any. I'm never at a point where I'm saying, okay, well, they're done doing this, because you could wake up the very next day and have a big story, and you're like, wow, here we are sitting here with this situation that we wouldn't have thought would have been the case.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about us only having 5 million in cap space next year, that's next year's problem. And like I said, that's easily clearing up $20 million by letting Jalen Ramsey walk out the door. So you're bam, you're right back under the cap. And then you can go to someone like TJ and restructure. If Cam retires or restructures again, there's ways to free up money to sign the guys we need to sign, plus free agents and our draft picks from the next year. So I think we're in a good spot financially. I'm never gonna worry as long as Omar Khan is sitting there and dealing with the salary cap. I think we're in a good space, and I think the moves of signing outside free agents might be done until we start seeing maybe some surprise cuts in training camp, or if someone goes down before camp or during camp. But I think they might be set on this is the roster going into camp. Maybe some of the bottom end guys, but I think for guys who potentially have a spot to make the 53-man roster, I think we're about done making moves there.
I do. For the most part, I agree with you. Also, Mike being said, let's see what else do we got here. Going back to Highsmith, going back to the interest I know that the Bears do have.
Yeah.
Like whether it be true, whether it be holding any water. I do know the term second round pick may be somewhere in what the Chicago Bears would be interested to do for something with Alex Highsmith. Again, I don't see that happening until after this season. So again, the outside linebacking core, I think, is set. This is going to be your outside linebacking room. That's not going to change, Mike.
Yeah, and I think like you bring back Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to start selling off pieces this year. Like maybe next year you look to move someone like Highsmith, and that you're not at that point. Jack Sawyer's got another year of development. You figure Herbig's going to be ready to be the starter, and that would make the most logical move right there. You keep the team the way it is now. Definitely Ed McCarthy's first year, Aaron's last run. We want to see how far this team can go, and if this team can make a nice run, that's going to be a very good experience for these younger guys that are on the roster that are going to be here next year, with possibly a Will Howard or a Drew Aller as the star quarterback. So at that point, you want these guys to have as much big game experience as possible. So keep the starting roster intact right now and just play the season out, and wherever it happens. Because next year you're hoping, like I said, one of those two guys is going to pop in, or a surprise free agent will pop in and take us to the next level, baby.
That's what I'm hoping for. If anybody's been under a rock for the past 4 days, the talk about, again, it's just talk, but a nice landing spot for Baker Mayfield after this year could very well be the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm on board. Here's a couple reasons why. Because listen, let's say we can bring him here for 2 years, 3 years, and we pay him some money. That's fine, because again, Mike, here's the thing. Everyone's kind of hoping that we find and land on our franchise guy like that, and it happens. The fact of the matter is neither of these guys are even anywhere close to being a franchise quarterback at this particular point. They're just not. They're not. One guy is being stripped down to nothing and starting over from scratch. The other guy is a 6th round pick. This is always going to be something you hear from year to year. Mike, I'm all aboard. I'm all aboard the Baker Mayfield train. I am. I'm leading the way. I wanted Baker Mayfield before he went to Tampa Bay. Listen, a guy comes along in a 40-year period, and you're the only guy that could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're the only guy that could knock the Steelers out of the playoffs. You're the only guy that gets your team a winning record. You're the only guy that finishes out of the last place as a Cleveland Brown. This guy is a quarterback. He reminds me of Brett Favre in a sense, Mike. He's got that on-field energy. He's a football player, and you see that when he plays out there. He's all. I love watching Baker Mayfield. He just has that Brett Favre energy for me. I'm all aboard. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, let's say he doesn't work out. That's fine, because then we can learn a little bit more about our younger quarterbacks and still keep an eye on the rest of the field of quarterbacks that exist, whether it be by college, whether it be by free agency. And then we could, like I said, and then eventually commit to the person that is our new Ben Roethlisberger when he comes along, our guy that is our new, our new franchise guy. Because there's no guarantee. We're all sitting around saying, all right, let's have this last season with Aaron Rodgers, and we have these two new guys. Yeah. Again, we don't know if these two new guys are going to have it at that point. So again, why not bring in a Baker Mayfield, like somebody who has a little bit more at the end of their tape than Aaron Rodgers does. This guy still wants to win. I mean, you got to remember, he played well in Carolina. He played well in Cleveland. Yep. I would have liked to see more from him in Tampa Bay, but I think if he comes to a team that has a team built ready. All they need is a quarterback in place. I think he does fine. Again, this guy's the two younger guys an opportunity to grow, learn, become better quarterbacks. And also, while that's happening, we keep our eye out there for that lightning in the bottle move. And if it happens, we snatch it up. If one of these two guys are the answer, we figured it out. So again, Mike, I'm 100% on the Baker Mayfield. I think this guy could come here, throw the ball around a lot, maybe in this new offense, really fit in and become a special part of this team. Again, a lot of things happen between now and the offseason coming up. But right now, Mike, I'm all on board the Baker Mayfield train.
I am too. I was with you when he was leaving Cleveland, when he was playing in Cleveland. You and I, we said like this was like the dumbest thing Cleveland could have done was get rid of this cat. And when he became available when he was down in Carolina, before he went to Tampa Bay, we were like, maybe we should take a look at this guy because he's a damn good player. He's a competitive player,
very competitive. I love it.
He'll gamble on some of his throws. We'll throw some boneheaded interceptions, but find me a quarterback that doesn't do that. And he's still playing at a high level. 26 touchdowns last year, 11 picks, 3,700 yards, 63% completion percentage. Hello, Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly what he is. So, like stat-wise, we're picking up right where we left off. I think he's still
somebody younger with more energy and more,
He just turned 31.
That's what I'm saying.
2 months ago, he just turned 31. He can still have a decent career left into him, man. Like quarterbacks, aren't dead and old anymore at 30. They can still probably get another 3 to 4 years out of this guy. And last year in 2024, he had 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Granted, that's the outlier year for those touchdowns, but he can sling the ball around. He 71% completion percentage that year. Granted, his career average is 63, but you get him in a Mike McCarthy style offense with DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth, a good running game, a young, explosive offensive line. I think you put up some good numbers, like granted, down there too, he had some really good receivers too. Don't get me wrong. Like Mike Evans and Godwin were two really good receivers. So he's coming here and he would still have those good weapons that he's used to working with. This guy can have a hell of a final leg of his career in Pittsburgh.
I am going to kick it in reverse though, Mike, because we still have a few things to talk about regarding, of course, the contracts, JPJ, everything that's going on the defensive side of the ball, and Herbig. Before we do get back to the quarterbacks and the offense, which we do and are, Mike, these few things right here was said about the Steelers' outside linebacking core, of course, all put together the last week and guaranteed put in place with the big contract of Herbig. Mike, Steelers selfless group of outside linebackers. They don't care who makes the big play. Also, Mike Herbig, he says this, I'm not worried. He says, I'm not worried about the starter title. He says, I'm not worried about the specifics. He says, I bleed black and gold. So again, whatever Mike McCarthy's doing, he's really ingraining the sense of a lot of things I like to see in this football team, like very selfless mindset there with those particular players. So again, at the end of the day, just more things that are encouraging about this Mike McCarthy led team. And then finally, Mike McCarthy recalls Nick Herbig jumping on his radar back in 2024. He quoted saying, he got my attention back in 2024. So again, Mike, that outside linebacker core, along with the Patrick Graham-led defense, along with a lot of additions in the secondary, if they can, in fact, make the adjustments to stop that run, there's no reason this defense should be good, Mike. And I believe it was right here, the Bleacher Report power rankings did come out over the weekend, Mike, in Pittsburgh's defense. As of right now, they're putting right around 10. Mike, they have them at 10 in the Bleacher Report's power rankings as of right now. So 10's a good place to start for where we're at. You answer a few of those questions, you stop the run, you start making your way up that list, especially if you're winning football games. So again, just another encouraging thing to hear about our team.
Oh yeah, like we haven't even seen them play yet in this new system, and organizations are ranking him or ranking us top 10. I like that. That's an encouraging sign, and of hopefully these are people who actually know ball and not like PFF drones that are just little nerds looking at spreadsheets and on actual game film. I think this defense is going to be really good. Like the talent's there. we've been saying we just need the coaching to get there to maximize the talent, and it's looking like we got that right coaching staff. I'm encouraged and looking forward to see how well this defense can play. And everyone seems so fired up and ready to play this year.
They really do. And you know what? This is an energy that you do get every year. And it can be deceptive because even when you're your team stinks, this is something that you do hear. You hear all the good things in the offseason. But again, if you watch this team year in, year out, you watch the trajectory, the way things are going, the way they're building the team, how it was, what the differences are, what we needed last year to maybe win a couple games that we lost, and vice versa. So again, it is a positive feel because there's a lot of new. There's a lot of new kinks put into this whole thing at the end of the day, because over the past 10 years, you could say, well, you know what, we could be better this year. We're going to be better. But then you run into some of those older problems that wasn't being addressed for whatever reason. I don't know the reason, but maybe some changes on defense, some things that could be happening that could have changed the way things have went. So again, there's an excitement, but also there's an excitement because this is a new car. It's a new shiny vehicle, and we're all excited to take a ride in it, Mike. So we hope that it runs. We hope that it's not a lemon at the end of the day, but it's always a possibility. You just don't know until they get out there and play the game. So, but from what I'm seeing, I'm very excited, Mike. And again, from everything that I've seen to this point, leads me to think that again, this is going to be better than let me just kind of prove my point, Mike. If you're reading like Reddit or you're reading anything, they always have the popular comments. As far as the Steelers go, Mike, in popular comments, 9-8, a first round exit is what they're giving the Steelers. Again, this is something that you can't go off of because nothing is the same that it has been. So hopefully, Mike, things turn for the better. But right now, this is, again, where people are putting us. And, again, it doesn't surprise me at all. And, again, it's not going to surprise me when we win the division. And, again, it's not going to surprise me when we make the playoffs. And, again, it's not going to surprise me when we get a win in the playoffs. Mike, I'm liking the vibe. I'm liking the feel. And, again, you do this every year. And, again, I get excited every year. I acknowledge that. I got excited last year about the defense. They said this is good. The players, this is going to be one of the most historic defenses ever. I got excited. It wasn't. The year before that, hey, you got Russell Wilson. This guy won a Super Bowl. I got excited. It wasn't. But, Mike, it's different this year.
Yeah.
It's different. The game plan is different. The scheme is different. The faces are different. Mike, this is why I'm more excited in a lot of reasons. There's quite a few reasons I'm excited about this team, but there's something about the new of this that is allowing me to expand my mind and believe that this could happen where it hasn't been happening for a decade, or this can happen now for us where it hasn't happened for a decade. So that is really making this a juicy piece of meat at the end of the day. It really is.
Yeah, I just find it comical that, everyone seems to forget that the Steelers won the division last year.
Exactly.
Like when we were supposed to finish last in the division, which is something we haven't done since 1988 when it was the AFC Central. We were supposed to be lose, according to Dan Orlovsky, the last 9 games. We were going to implode. We are going to go on a 9-game losing streak, which is something we haven't done, I think, since like the 60s.
Absolutely.
And it's funny for a division winner that, yes, we brought in a brand new coaching staff. That, coaches, the people are like, oh, these are good coaches. But now they're on the Steelers. All of a sudden, I don't know, man. These coaches, we got to think about them. Well, wait a sec. They were people like, oh, Angelico up in Minnesota. Oh, he's in Pittsburgh now. Oh, he sucks. Graham, he does great with bargain bin players. I don't know, man. He's going to Pittsburgh. I'm not too sure about it. Oh, Michael Pittman. No, not too sure about him. Rico, when he was on Dallas and the Panthers, he's a damn good running back. Undervalued. Pittsburgh, don't know about it. Like, Pittsburgh's the only team or the only division winner that got better that everyone says got worse.
I agree.
It's like every draft pick is like, oh, well, you missed out on you missed out on Lemon. Therefore, every draft pick sucks. Like, it is, to me, this is just comical that how no one is seeing what the Steelers have done outside of the quarterback position, the TJ Watt contract, and the Mike McCarthy hiring. Apparently, those are the only 3 moves the Steelers have made in the past 4 years.
All right,
that's all anyone in the national media sees. Exactly, Lindsay. They hate the Steelers.
Tyrone says, you guys keep it up. That's all I'm going to say. Lindsay says, what's going to happen, Ty? Of course, back to the banter. Tortilla says exactly. Vanilla. Tyrone says, I got something planned indeed. I got something planned, Lindsay. Let's go. Lindsay says Tortilla said he's so scared. Let's go here to Lindsay. I'm shaking in my boots, and JPJ is getting 12 now. So keep it up. Tortilla is saying JPJ scared. Don't be scared. Let's go here to Tortilla. Wait, Tyrone has a plan, like he's gonna rob a bank or something. Let's go down to Ty. Ty does say this. TJ needs to make 7 with how many sacks he's had. The banter, it's ruthless today, Mike. It's relentless. I'm glad that I'm not in the crossfire. Let's go back to Tortilla. He says JPJ should make 3 for 3 interceptions. Lindsay says this. Well, he's making a ton. Cry about it. Of course, TJ she's referring to. Let's go down here. She says, right. Tyrone says, Baker, good, but I'm good on these veteran quarterback crap. This the last year that we need to do this. The thing about Baker, I just kind of feel that he can win on this team. Of course, we're going to learn a lot about our team, but for some reason, there's just something to me that feels like it's a fit with Baker, almost like a seatbelt, Mike, that you just click it in. Just a vibe for me. Again, I could be wrong. Don't kill me, but I'm just saying, like, I feel that we could win with Baker Mayfield. The guy is a baller. The guy has crazy competitive energy. I like that. And again, if you followed it and you're old enough to follow Brett Favre, I see the same player when I watch Baker Mayfield play. So again, at the end of the day, if you know anything about Favre, the dude was highly competitive in that way. And again, I think he could win a lot of football games. I'm not just talking about from September to December. I think the wins could go in January, maybe into February as well. And again, that's something you wouldn't be getting with the young guys just yet. Let them continue to. Here's the thing: don't rush them. Why rush them at that point? If you bring in a Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers is a different story. He only had a year or two under his belt, left under his belt. And you knew this, and you wasn't even guaranteed he was coming back this year. Baker, this kid, Mike, as you said, is 31 years old. If we do bring him in for a year, 2, 3 years, he could win a lot of football games, and we could have a lot of other valuable things happen.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody pops up in the draft, as going to be mentioned here shortly, as we're seeing a lot of these good quarterbacks coming up in the future, Mike, out of the college ranks. However, I do want to make this point. I do want to say this real quick. The judge did rule that Brendan Sorsby can play college football in 2026, Mike. So you don't have to worry about Brendan Sorsby on the sideline making it 5 quarterbacks for the Steelers, Mike. He's going back to school.
Dude, I want this judge for any type of crime I am ever accused of or did or whatever, because he was like, by him being not allowed to play in practice, he's a grievous harm to him for, like, to learn and grow as a player and become better at his craft. He's suffered serious injury to this. Like, dude, you shot yourself in the dick on your own. You broke the rules knowing what was happening. I want this judge right here to say, if I ever get fired from my job, I'm filing an injunction, and I want this guy right here to be like, yeah, he may have did this, but by you punishing him, he is suffering the injury. I want this judge to adjudicate any single case against me in my life.
All right, let me just jump down real quick. Again, I want to say what's up to Vegas, all the way from Las Vegas. Mike, he says Sorsby bet. Sorsby bet. Like, hold on, let me get the punchline out so people can hear it. He says Sorsby bet he would win the case. Mike.
Vegas, you get my game ball.
All right, that's fair.
You get my game ball. I've been all over this thing today on Sorsby, so you get my game ball. I know Ryan has the game ball to give up, but you get my game ball.
That's fair, right?
But not the game balls I give Sosh. Those are a different set of game balls.
Yeah, something odd's been going on between our Mike and Sosh lately. I got my eye on you guys.
Me too. I got my eye on Sosh.
I know you do.
Especially when he's behind me.
Giving you one of them bear hugs from behind that you love so much. Let's go right here, Mike. Let's grab some more messages. I am talking too much. Let's get back at it right here where okay, I think I found it right here. Tortilla says this: I wouldn't mind Baker, but he's gonna get paid a shit ton, and we won't have that. It's interesting. In the past I would have agreed with Omar Khan. I don't know. I just think that things have been possible, Mike, that I've never seen in my life happen. So again, in Khan I trust right now.
Yeah,
and I know that Tyrone's not going to be saying the same thing until his guy gets his contract. So I understand that. But Mike, as far as everything to this point, I'm satisfied. Again, the guy's not afraid to pull the trigger on moves that are going to make a difference. So
Yeah.
again, thrilled with what's happening.
And it's not like he would come in and stunt the development of a first-round pick.
No,
this is like, we're talking a third-round pick who had major flaws in his game that kept him from being a potential first-round pick, and then a guy who is a sixth-round draft pick who has to be in a perfect setup and system to have a chance to be the guy. I hope both of them can succeed because it's going to help my team. But let's not act like we're bringing him in here and we're not getting prime Peyton Manning or a Big Ben type quarterback who came out with a lot of hype. We're getting Drew Aller, who a lot of us did not want, and Will Howard, who a lot of us did not want. So it's not like he would be coming in and shitting on a potential surefire franchise guy.
Mike, I know that Ty is going to like this. An analyst, and I didn't even catch the analyst name. Like, the headline was just this: analysts suggest JPJ isn't worth elite cornerback money, saying that there's too many ups and downs in his game. Do you agree? And I don't agree. I'm going to tell you right off the top, I don't agree, because again, everything that he had downs with, he improved every single year. His tackling was terrible his first year. I think we can all agree on that. Mike, he has no problem tackling anymore. His penalties were a big problem early on. Mike, he took care of that. So again, I don't agree with what this analyst is saying at all. I think that whether you think, the wording elite cornerback money, what that means to you, I don't know. But at the end of the day, Mike, I don't agree with what this person is saying. I think, again, if JPJ wouldn't have done anything to improve in those areas, this would be a conversation. I don't think it's a conversation at all.
Yeah, when you're number one in passing yards and or at least completion percentage against on third down targets, that's a good check mark. When you have the second best quarterback rating or completion percentage against in zone coverage, that's pretty good. Would you have one of the best overall completion percentages against, that's a good thing. These are all elite traits to where he is shutting down receivers. He's taking away your number one option on offense. Like, how is that not elite? Just because you're looking, interceptions, 1. That not elite. 11 pass breakups.
Well, to be fair, that's a number you look at when you're talking about defensive backs. So,
now we track so much stuff now. Completion percentage again, that's teams aren't throwing his way, and when they do throw his way, they're not getting completions against him. They're not getting the big plays against him. The kid literally has never given up a touchdown. I know people point to that one touchdown that was zone coverage and he was covering for the safety. Watch the film. And this analyst are they just looking at box scores? Watch the film. When the Steelers finally decided, hey, we're going to put him up against Jamar Chase, he's shut him down. Shut down Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, T.
And
Higgins.
also, Mike, something that people are talking about how successful Jamel Dean was against Jamar Chase as well when he was playing with Tampa. So, Mike, certainly some things good there. One more thing about the defense, we have to get over to the offense.
Yes.
Mike, these numbers have to get better. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I was just reading this morning, their magic number that Mike McCarthy is giving him is 50 for the amount of sacks that he expects and wants to get the defense back to. Mike, it's been since 2021 since this defense has hit 50 sacks in a season, which is very un-Steeler-like, Mike. They're usually one of the top teams in sacks. Mike, the numbers look like this. In 2021 was the last year they had 50. In 2022, they only had 40. 2023, they had 47. 2024, they had 40 again, and then last year they had 48, getting closer to that number, Mike. But you figure we have our group of guys, we have guys paid, we have guys fed, we have guys happy. Mike McCarthy is calling for that to be the magic number 50 this year, Mike. Over, under, what do you think that they do? Do they hit 50?
They better hit 50 with the amount of money that we're paying to the outside guys, plus Cam Hayward. I think they can do it. I got to look up the stats of what Patrick Graham's defenses usually do, but the talent disparity between them and here, we should be able to hit 50 sacks. I'm hoping, man. If we do, that's a good shot.
It's the last time that it's happened.
Yeah.
Let's grab a couple messages, guys. We're going to get to the offensive side of the ball. Of course, let's get to Tortilla says this Baker might get something like it's gonna cost money. Absolutely, it is gonna cost money. I don't know if it's going to be TJ money, but it's going to be something that we'll keep our eye on for sure. Tortilla follows it up by saying this. Tortilla says Bengals will be better than the Ravens. I don't know why anyone thinks the Ravens will be good. They got worse, and that I couldn't agree with more. I think that there's a good chance they could finish in. I'm calling third place for Baltimore. I'm saying it's even possible last place, even a possibility they do finish in last place. Again, that's not a good team. And people could say this, they could say that, but the fact of the matter is we beat them 10 out of the last 12 when we haven't been a great football team. If a lot of people listen to the national media, they'll say we've been bad. So if a bad football team beats this team 10 out of 12 times, what should in theory that say about that team? Just throwing that out there. Also, this, Mike, let's go to Yinzer Joe says Baker didn't do anything to deserve the treatment he received from Cleveland. I agree. I couldn't agree more. And when they brought in Watson, that would have been the last straw for me too. I only wish him a good career. I liked Baker. I have. Again, the guy, that competitive energy. If he's not going to be our franchise guy for many, many years, I think he could be a nice guy to, again, get us to the point where we can catch our lightning in a bottle. Because here's the end of the day, Mike. This is what's being said. Drake May is what are they saying right here? Drake May. Here's what they're saying, Mike. Drew Aller is a Drake May, could potentially be a Drake May level starter. So here's my problem with that.
Yeah.
Drake May's good, but I don't want him as my franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I just don't. There's a difference between him and the guy that I want. There's a difference between Drake May, Bo Nix, a lot of these young quarterbacks that are going to be franchise quarterbacks for these teams for a lot of years. There's a whole level better than they are. And that's the kind of guy I'm looking for. And again, if getting Baker Mayfield and keeping us potentially competitive, Mike, for the next couple of years, I want to keep my eye open for that lightning in the bottle, because that's the guy that's going to change your franchise. That's the guy that's going to be Ben Roethlisberger. That's the guy that's going to be Patrick Mahomes. That's the guy that's going to be Tom Brady. And it's not easy to find them, because if it was 31 other teams would grab him like that. So at the end of the day, I think rushing to get one of these kids in to be the franchise quarterback, okay, they're the franchise quarterback, but what exactly does that mean? Are they going to change the face of the franchise, or are they just a kid that's in charge? So, like I said, Mike, that's why I think Baker Mayfield could be a good thing. This is why I think he could really be a good thing. Because, again, at the end of the day, you're getting this competitive quarterback in his prime, arguably. I mean, at 31 years old. And then you could, again, develop and continue to work with the kids.
Yep.
Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on things that are going on around the league. Keep an eye on free agents. Keep an eye on what's coming out of college. But then if you see that lightning in the bottle, you're in a position, you could grab it in your bottle. This is why I like it. This is why I like Baker Mayfield. This is why I've kind of been leaning the way I have, Mike, because I think ultimately it helps us eventually get our guy. Maybe a kid comes out of college this year and we feel that he's the franchise quarterback or whatever the case may be, but you always got to keep your eye open. Like, you always have to, because at the end of the day, if it was easy, 31 other teams would do it.
Yep. And
guess what? They have their eyes out just like we do, looking for these big names players to change their franchise. Again, do you want a franchise quarterback, or do you want a franchise quarterback that can change the face of your franchise the way Terry Bradshaw and the way Ben Roethlisberger did it, Mike? In between, we had other quarterbacks who were good. We had Neil O'Donnell. We had Tommy Maddox did fine. We had Cordell Stewart. Those were franchise quarterbacks. Mike, the lightning in the bottle guys. This is who I think Steelers want. They want the next Ben Roethlisberger. And this is what I'm saying. You can't rush that to happen. And I understand it's taking a while, and it's going to the patience wears thin. But at the end of the day, do you want to be stuck with a guy who's not getting it done year after year after year after year after year? Can we tell the future? No. But at the end of the day, Mike, I don't see that quality in the quarterback I'm talking about in the two guys that we do have. I'm not bad-mouthing either of them.
No.
I'm not saying they're not going to have a good career. I hope they do. But at the end of the day, there's just a whole next level of quarterback. Yeah. And that's kind of what I have my eye on.
Yeah. Like you said, no disrespect to Drake May. You know, he did take a team to the Super Bowl in his second year. He looks shaky in the Super Bowl, but I'm sorry. I think a lot of young quarterbacks that aren't that guy would look shaky in that situation. Ben won the Super Bowl. He looked shaky, but he didn't look, I want to say, nervous and kind of like panicky.
In the first one, correct.
In the first one, but he wasn't nervous or panicky. I think he was trying to do too much. Whereas like Drake May, the stage was too bright, or the lights were too bright for him. The stage was too big for him, but that might change in the future. But that game showed me if Drew Aller is a Drake May clone, the same things I hated about Drew Aller coming out of college, I saw in Drake May in that game. Bad throws, bad decisions in the big games, not playing up to the hype. And like you said, those guys could potentially be, franchise quarterbacks. But like you said, there's the levels of franchise quarterbacks. Your top 5 that are always hard to find, and then a group of that now they're top 5, 7 quarterbacks that are all kind of nebulous that have those traits, but they don't have that, like you're saying, lightning in the bottle, the it factor to where I'm putting money on these guys that they are going to win me the games. Because like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, guys that put up great numbers, but when the lights are bright, what have they done? They've crumbled.
I wouldn't want Lamar Jackson within 5 miles of my team, to be honest with you. But that's just me.
But like him and Josh, they keep stumbling, and the ones that you see keep going. Mahomes, when Darnold, his first opportunity on a legit team with a legit coach, big moments. They were not too big for him. He might actually be one of those guys. We thought he was coming out of college, didn't look at it early, but you get him in a legit organization, he's looking good. So it's hard to find those guys. When you find them, get them. Until then, you're either cycling through veteran quarterbacks or young quarterbacks hoping to strike lightning in the bottle. And you can win either way. It's just, how do you want to do it?
Yeah. Let's get back to the board, Mike. Also, I do want to say this, going back from what I was saying, the second part of it was Drake May is being looked at as Drew Aller is being looked at as a Drake May level starter. Mike McCarthy also says he values Will Howard much, much more than a 6th-round pick. So again, the kids are kids. They're learning. If it's not necessary, put them in at this point, Mike. Listen, I'm all aboard of getting them. I'm all on board of getting them playing time. They deserve it. If they want, if they could play all preseason, if they could take Mason Rudolph's job, so be it. That's good. I want to see these kids start to move forward, and get involved. But at the end of the day, there's certain things that you look for, and if these kids don't have it, I want to find the guy that does. Hey, who knows? Maybe one of these kids could grow up and be that guy. We will learn. We will continue to watch our team and learn those things. But as of right now, Mike, I don't think our the guy that's going to change the franchise is on the team right now. But again, we still have a lot to learn about these kids, as they have a lot to learn as well. So we'll continue to monitor that as we do move along. A couple of things, Mike. Let's talk about this offense. I'm going to go right here. Max Starks. Max Starks, of course, everybody remembers Max Starks. Mike, he used to protect Ben's backside. He says the Steelers' new look offense looks a lot more dynamic. Again, this is just a former Steeler saying good things, but if it was only him that's saying this, would be a flag for me, Mike. It's the fact that everybody is saying how well this defense or this new offense looks, how dynamic it looks. It's going to be night and day from last year, and boy, is this exactly what we wanted here in Pittsburgh.
It is what we've been wanting for a while, ever since like more or less Todd Haley departed the team. Like an offense that looks like it can run with some of the best in the leagues. And I'm just hoping that the line can hold up, and Rodgers can get back to I don't want to say an MVP level. That it's hard to force out of a quarterback at that age, but like a little bit better than he was last year. A little bit more comfortable in the pocket, a little bit more comfortable with the line. But like we were talking last week, the comfortability that everyone is saying in OTAs and in minicamp, everyone seems much more comfortable with each other. You got that 1 year under the belt already. So I think this year we're going to see much better play out of everyone. Not just because of the system, but because a lot of these guys are coming back. They've worked with each other, and they're going to be that much more familiar with each other, and things are going to be run that much smoother. Everyone's going to know what everyone is thinking for the most part, because they have that year, they have that experience, and it should be good. And then helps too, now you have an offense of language that the quarterback knows off by heart. It's not one he's having to learn. It's not one where you're, when you're in those high pressure situations, you're thinking back to the easiest thing that or the most thing that is something you've done forever it's like if you speak two languages, you more or less default to your native language. That's how it is with quarterbacks that have been doing it for so long. They revert back to their most dominant language, and that's for Aaron Rodgers. That's the Mike McCarthy language. So now there's not going to be any miscommunication on the offense because Rodgers is going to know what he's going to say, and everyone will be on the same page. They're not going to be looking around like, what the fuck is he talking about? Now they're like, oh, okay, now we know what the fuck he's talking about. Let's go and execute.
Speaking of the Aaron Rodgers factor, Mike, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, of course, you remember a longtime Viking, went to Carolina for a while, ended up coming to the Steelers for the last 2-3 games of the year when we were having issues keeping wide receivers active on the roster. Mike, Adam Thielen says this: Aaron Rodgers treated every practice like it was preparing for the Super Bowl. Mike, there is a lot that we can gain by having him at quarterback.
Yep.
We acknowledge this now. I mean, last year when the first news of him coming here, I was against it. I was 100% against it. I made it very clear that I was against it. However, it is what it is at this time. It is, again, also people that only lived in that Ben Roethlisberger era, they still have a little bit to learn about how this thing plays out, Mike, because at the end of the day, when we get a franchise quarterback, that just isn't going to fix everything. That's the one thing that I'm kind of seeing, that people are just assuming that once we get somebody that it's just going to fix itself. That's not the case at the end of the day. So again, I'm appreciating more, Mike, now this year than I certainly did last year. The fact that Aaron Rodgers is still here, the fact that he still prepares like he's going to the Super Bowl, the fact that people around him are being held accountable. Mike, I mean, George Pickens, I don't even know if he made his way to Dallas's anything yet at this point. So again, I'm complaining, saying Aaron needs to be here. They have to get familiar. People are still having problems in this area where we're not. So just another thing I find is a positive, good vibes, and all the things that we could talk about with this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Like Adam Thielen, Aaron Rodgers prepares every day at practice and practices like he is going to the Super Bowl.
And that's what these young cats need on this team from top to bottom. So you know how it is to prepare to go out and win that championship. That's one of the advantages of having not only a future Hall of Fame quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but a head coach who has been around this league forever, who's also won a Super Bowl. Now you're doubling down on that reinforcement. That's why it might be the best that we didn't get one of these young guns and then a young gun quarterback, because they won't have that experience. You won't have those leaders on there. Now we have the leaders in place to teach these young guys of how to do it.
Can you imagine if we were sitting around right now waiting for George Pickens?
Oh, God.
You feel how everything is going now, how everything is good. And these guys, a lot of these guys are team players.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting where we are right now, the board sitting where they are, and we're sitting around here wondering when George Pickens is going to show up? So this, again, is just another reason. I mean, there's no doubt, no denying George Pickens' skills were out of this world. But just everything that comes along with a player like that, man, it stinks. It stinks. It stinks. It really does, because, boy, I would have loved to have him here for his career, or most of it, or a lot of it, because I'm sure there's a lot of production that we would have certainly got out of him over time, and certainly as the quarterback situation proves as well.
Oh, God. I would have loved to have seen him and Aaron Rodgers. The first time George ran a lazy route, this is all you would see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Aaron would have.
We don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
You love the talent, but, like, you don't love the attitude.
Yeah, let's jump back on the board. I'm seeing some interesting things perspiring. Or let's go right here, Mike. Let's go with Lindsay. Yes, they hate the Steelers, as always. We know that. Let's go here to Lindsay says this Baker is good, and the Browns are a bunch of idiots for getting rid of him. And I said that from day one. From day one, I thought you finally got a guy out of all the first round picks you've made over the past quarter century. You finally got one of them to get you into a good position to where you get to the second round of the playoffs. I mean, the Steelers haven't done this in a decade. This guy did it for them, for a team that hasn't done it in 4 decades. So again, Mike, just another dropping of the ball for Cleveland. I'll never change my opinion on that. Let's scoot along. Now let's move down here to Mark Malone. He says Omar is going to strike while the iron's hot with JPJ. Vegas says this. Sorsby bet he would win that case. He probably did. Mark Malone says this. I think we can get a first in change. Let's also go to Tortilla. Tortilla says this, Mike. He says, Judge says, let me get in on that parlay and I'll pardon you. Let's go here to Tyrone. He says this. He says, I think we can trade Mark to Cleveland or San Fran with Tater.
Oh.
Tater. Let's go here go to big game balls. Big game balls towards Tortillas saying on the board. Also, Lindsay saying MVS, Mike, MVS, and that could be Mike Vanilla Smith. Let's continue down here a little bit. Let's go to Lindsay. I agree. Lindsay says this. Mark, do you agree? Shut up, Lindsay. Mark joining Tater. Uh-oh. Where is Tater anyway? I haven't seen him pop up for a while. Did he leave? Lindsay says this. Keep bringing that couch up, and this is what you get.
Ooh.
Let's go to Tortilla. Arthur Smith and Tyrone on the couch right now. Damn. Let's go right here. Let's go to Tortilla. He says this might drawing up plays for their tight ends. Let's go down to Vegas. JD Vance heard the word couch and has joined the chat. JD, Vice President, has joined the chat. Let's go to Tyrone. He says, hey, Vegas was good, everybody. Exchanges some pleasantries. Let's go down here to Vegas. Vegas says couches. Couches can't say no. JDV. Grab her by the couch. Tortilla is saying he likes to grab her by the couch. Somber says this, and I do want to say what's up to Somber. Always great seeing you all the way from outside of Los Angeles, California. He says this. He says if you had to pick which guy is that guy next year, who do you think it would be from college? The thing is, I don't know yet. I mean, I could go and listen what the media tells me and tells me who's going to be the best, and you know how that usually plays out. Beginning of this year, they had me thinking that a bunch of guys were going to be,
right.
You know what I mean?
We thought Drew Aller was going to be a top 10 pick.
We thought Drew Aller was going to be a top 10 pick. Wait, what?
A lot of places had him as a top 10 pick before the season started.
That's why I don't pay attention to that shit. Let's go right here. I'm going to say this, though. I don't know just yet. I mean, there's a handful of names I continue to hear. But again, I'm going to have to watch them play to make my educated guess, if you will. Tortilla says quarterback wise or overall. I think he's talking about quarterbacks right there. Who's the guy he's basically saying that can come in and be that franchise quarterback? Is he in the draft next year? Tyrone says that I would want. Yes, that who you would want. Tortilla says this. It's hard for me to bet against Manning. And that's what a lot of people are feeling and saying. At the end of the day, I think I feel that way too, Mike. And I said that from the beginning. There's not been a Manning that failed. In the NFL, they've all been pretty damn good at the end of the day. You know, Dad didn't win the Super Bowls that his boys did, but both boys win 2 Super Bowls. Dad was a pretty damn good quarterback himself. It's hard to go against the bloodline sometimes. It just is, Mike.
It is. You know, they're all good until they fail. You know, Art Rooney was a good owner. Dan Rooney was a good owner. Now we're into Art 2, who's not looking up to be a good owner. So could oh my God, could Cooper be the one? Could he be the Art the second?
We will see. Who's Cooper?
Or whatever, Eli, or whatever fucking Manning kid this is. Arch, thank you. Cooper was the one that played receiver who got hurt, the oldest brother. My bad.
Yeah, he's definitely not a quarterback.
Yeah, I got confused. My bad, brother.
Somber says one that explains what Ryan is saying better than Matt. Yes, exactly. Because again, any of these people could be your franchise quarterback. Are they going to make the difference? Are they going to turn your franchise around? That's the question. That's the guy that we ultimately want. That's the guy when we say that we need our guy. That's that's what I mean. I absolutely agree. Lindsay is what Mark Malone is saying on the board. Lindsay, thanks. Mark Somber, I'm not sure there. That's what I'm saying. As of right now, I don't know. I don't know if there is or not. We'll certainly keep our eye on everything, and that's all we can do at this point. Mark Malone, storms have been have me cutting in and out over here. Okay, appreciate the heads up, dude. Hope everything's all right, man. Let's go to Tortilla Sorby. I'm just kidding. And he's going back to college. So we might have dodged a bullet there, Mike, but he will be probably out next year unless he gets more years of eligibility of college.
Hey, you know what? Hey, man, if you can get that NIL money and continue to gamble at the same time, keep filing injunctions to the same judge, brother.
I don't know. People are always so big on this NIL to stay in college. What if you blow out your knee and your whole career's over? I'd rather get into the pros and make some pro money. I don't know.
Some of these guys, like if you're high end, you're making more money.
But if you're high end, you're getting paid a lot more money than that when you get to the pros. Because if you're a first round guy, if
Not
you're
on your rookie deal.
if you're a first round guy, I don't know, stay in college, and that's your decision.
Yeah.
I would go to the pros, but that's where the success you're considered successful. So that's where I would go. Let's continue on the board right here to Mark Malone. He says this we could draft a franchise quarterback if we trade JPJ for the extra ammo. Somber says, yeah, my point is you never really know. I agree with you, Somber. Lindsay says this we definitely could. Mark Tortilla Jackson. Mike says this. It did move on me. Just got to catch up to it real quick. Tortilla. Where is Tortilla? Right here. Tortilla says this. We have enough capital to trade up for a quarterback without trading JPJ. You pay JPJ while you're not paying a QB. And that's one of the luxuries we have. We don't have any quarterbacks that's making any money. We have 4 quarterbacks, and we're paying them in McDonald's coupons. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So this is a luxury that we are having right now. So Tortilla says this. We have all of our picks. If you're getting a quarterback, spend them. Mark Malone, I'll take more than what we have to trade up in the first. Let's go here to Mark again saying this. Good. Going to need that other first for JPJ. Tortilla says we traded up to 10 for just a third and a fifth. Yinzer Joe says, I wonder how much Sorsby bet and won on his case. Maybe he's making enough money there, Mike. Maybe he's gambling in supporting himself. Who knows?
9,000 bets the dude placed. 9,000 bets.
How old is he?
Insane.
I mean, is he allowed to bet? Is he allowed to gamble? Is he
he's allowed? You're allowed to gamble, but you can't gamble on your own sport. And you're in college, you can't gamble on college football if you're a college football player. And when he
on
was
other teams, what's
no,
the difference?
No, you can't. It's one of the rules that you sign when you sign your.
But what's the difference? Is what I'm asking. What's the matter if I bet on UCLA? It have nothing to do with me. I mean, see what I'm saying? It's irrelevant.
It's a rule.
I understand it's a rule, but it's irrelevant, is what I'm saying. It really has no say one way or another. Listen, if I'm a quarterback for Pitt and I'm betting on a game in UCLA, how does that have any relevance to anything at all?
It has your irrelevancy other than it's like you signed a
Okay, I understand the rule. But no, I'm asking you, what's the relevance? I don't care what the rule says, what I signed. I'm asking what the big problem is that makes this a rule. Why is people so against this?
Maybe you have,
because if you're of legal age to gamble and you're not gambling on anything that affects you, what's the difference?
Other than it can call into the question the integrity of the game. Like, okay, you bet on them, but are you also betting on your team? Are you betting against your team? Or are you betting for your team? And if that case, are you going to go out there?
No,
I bet on my team. I'm going to go hurt on someone.
Listen, I'm playing for Pitt, and I bet for you a bet game on UCLA. But how does that affect anything?
It doesn't affect anything except
that's all I'm asking.
The question of are you betting on anyone else that we don't know about?
Like maybe people that. What about the guys that aren't getting in trouble for gambling? Maybe they're betting on people, but they're just not getting caught.
Oh yeah, and that's the whole big argument of these gambling sites getting in bed with these pro leagues and even the college leagues.
I agree. I mean,
pretty soon you're gonna everything you're gonna look at now. We already are.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many issues with gambling and questions around the league, and just the way referees are officiating games. I don't care if a guy from Texas Tech's betting on a guy from UCLA. I just don't. Again, at the end of the day, I think there's bigger fish to fry because this literally has very little relevance, in my opinion, when there's things that are affecting weeks in, weeks out games, people betting, people gambling, people putting a lot of money into Vegas. Again, I think this is a minuscule, minor part of the minor end of this whole situation. Again, written down laws, whatever. I don't care. There's stupid policies and laws everywhere you go. At the end of the day, to me, there's really no point. But again, I get it. It's the rules.
It's just
I respect that.
When he played for Indiana, he was betting on those games too, and that's like draws the integrity.
Well, that's a big time problem. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
That's not what I'm talking about, though. You understand that, right? That's not what I'm even talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like if he was betting on, like you said, other teams, I don't give a fuck about that.
Like I'm saying, in another conference across the country, has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point I'm trying to make.
I think I think I misunderstood it first, but then we caught up to each other.
All right, all good. Let's go here to that other first for JPJ. We did get that. We did get this. I think right here is where we are. Tortilla, you're going to get an extra pick. You would potentially not even spend. You just go draft another DB. Let's go right here. Tyrone. Tyrone says we're getting one of these quarterbacks next year. Somber says this, from what I've heard, it's a mix of Green Bay and Dallas terms with Angelicio Vikings stuff thrown in. Somber follows it up by saying a trifecta of sorts. Let's go down to Tortilla. Tortilla says this, no need to trade an asset we don't need to just pay more than we need to. Let's go right here to Mark Malone. Mark Malone says going to need some serious draft ammo to move up from where we will be picking next year. Mark Malone going to need to trade JPJ. Tortilla, we have the draft ammo. The draft ammo dummy is what he's saying. Lindsay says this. She says no, we might have to trade him. To be honest, let's see what else we do have here, Mike. Couple things. Let me ask you this, guys, before we do move along on the board. Who has the most to gain and who has the most to lose this year as we make the transition from the OTAs that wrap up at the end of the week into camp next month? Mike, as far as players go on this team, offense, defense, special teams, whatever, who has the most to gain and who has the most to lose when it comes down to it? Take a minute to think that over. I'm going to continue on the board for just a moment, just to kind of give you a moment to think. And also on the board, what do you think as well? Who has the most to gain and who has the most to lose in the rest of our preparations this year before the season starts? Throw it up there if you guys have an opinion on that. Let me go to Tortilla. He says this, you think it's going to cost 4 first-round picks or something? Where are we picking from? 9,000. Of course, he's going back a few messages on that, responding to Mark. I think Mark says this. Mark says, no, we don't at Tortilla not to trade up from where we will be picking, I think is what he's saying, is we're going to have a good season, so we won't be getting that high draft pick. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says this, brother, go look at trades and come back and tell me you're just high. Also, let's go right here to Tortilla again. He says this, it doesn't take a damn village to trade up. Mark Malone says this, probably a future 2 or 3. 2 firsts he's suggesting. Tortilla says we have that. Mark Malone, no, we just have 2 firsts and a future 3 or 3. Got to trade JPJ. Lindsay says we have to. Poor Ty.
Man,
can I
just? He's on a rough one right now.
Can I just DoorDash him some Taco Bell or something? Right? I'm feeling bad. Let's go here to Tortilla says repeating yourself is a sign of autism. I'm not sure who that was to, but I could certainly
it's like everyone on the board into you and I. Jesus Christ.
This is the most autistic Steelers show I've ever seen. Right? Let's go right here. Mark Malone says got to trade JPJ. We got that. I actually skipped her. Repeat it. Let's go right here. Tortilla says this, but writing JPJ sucks on every paper. Okay, Mark Malone's what I missed. He says, how did I ever make it through a master's in cell and molecular biology? And Tortilla saying by writing JPJ sucks on every paper. Can you spell tortilla? Mark Malone says Tortilla says I can't spell, but I can brainstorm more than one way to do something. Let's go down here. Mark Malone says this, smoking the bong doesn't count, dude. Tater says this. Tater back in the house. Tater says JPJ worth nothing more than a 6. Tortilla says this, doing whip it is killing your brain cells, Mark. And that'll happen. That'll definitely happen. Mark Malone says, good, I can spare a few. Mike, I'm going to come back to you. The question I asked just a moment ago, which players for the Steelers have the most to gain and have the most to lose through the rest of this offseason in preparations for this year, Mike?
Oh, got Roman Wilson. He can be on the most to gain. My God, he's entering what, year 3 now? Like he should be on his way to already being. You would hope to know, like, hey, are we going to extend this guy next year? What kind of future do we see from him? There's none of that right now. So he would be one of my guys, because if he can ball out and force them to pay him and give him playing time over Bernard, that he has a lot to prove. If he wants to stick around here, obviously, we know Caleb Johnson. Like, can he even make the team? And last one I want to say, maybe Dalen Everett. Can he force the hand of the Steelers to give him more playing time over someone like Asante Samuel? And if he plays well, force himself into a starting lineup next year and bump down Jamal Dean to being a backup. There's a wide range of guys of like rookies, veterans, and some quote unquote bust that have a lot to gain right now. And I think those are three in the mix, three intriguing players to watch.
Absolutely. No, I think Roman Wilson would be my pick if I was to say to have the most to gain. Maybe even Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth could gain a lot as well. Mike, some speculation this morning I'm reading. And listen, I believe either one of our tight ends could be the starting. It's just it's the title at this point because either one of these guys could start from week to week, just depending on what the coaches want to do, Mike. But Pat Freiermuth can certainly gain a lot of leeway this year. I think in the new offense. I would assume. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the way things went last year, it's hard to say. But again, under the new coaching staff, we will learn about that. As far as who else, Patrick Queen, just not only for his performance for the Steelers, but for his own career. Let's just say he does move elsewhere next year, Mike. He's going to want to put together a pretty good season this year because it's going to come down to his money and what he's going to do in the future. So whether it be with us, whether it not be with us, I think he has a lot to gain, Mike. Also, and again, a lot to lose. Because he goes out and say he has a shit season.
Yeah.
Which he hasn't had. I mean, leading the league in missed tackles is one thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he still did a lot of things good. So, again, I think for him, Mike, he can either gain or he has a lot to lose and he has a lot to gain this year, Mike, on the defensive side for me is Patrick Queen.
Yeah, he has a lot to gain too. And and most to lose. I forgot to answer that part of the question. Like people like Mason Rudolph. Yeah, he can lose a spot. And I know I had him in most to gain, but also most to lose. I'm also thinking of Caleb Johnson.
He was my
he could lose a roster spot.
I know.
And maybe even the way they've been talking about it, Will Howard too. Because if Mason has a good camp, Aller has a good camp, are you going to keep three quarterbacks? Could Will Howard be it? So,
he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere, but he could be on there. You never know how cutthroat the NFL can be, but you never know. But it's funny though, like Caleb Johnson. Most to gain, most to lose, man. He might be number one in both categories.
Now the real answer, because I don't care at this point, in his career, Mike, I don't care because Caleb Johnson's literally done nothing for me yet.
Yeah.
This one here, how about this one? TJ Watt. What if he comes on? Here's the thing: they're moving him around a lot, Mike. Mm-hmm. They're putting him They're putting him in positions to make plays that he wasn't making before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I asked, this is the most to gain and the most to lose in preparation for this season. But just all in all, with that included in the season, Mike, this goes a long way for TJ Watt, whether, the people go against him moving forward, because obviously a lot of the news that's being talked about in Pittsburgh that we've been talking about for 6 months now, they're just now getting to. That's going to be the case if he comes out and has a listen, let's say he comes out and has 6 sacks this year. People are going to be screaming. But let's say he comes together and puts together a 16 sack season. So again, I think just for him and for the sanity of the fan base and everything that comes along with him, Mike, I think he could gain or lose a lot just depending on the kind of season that he has.
Oh, big time. And I'm right there with you, brother, because if he comes out and has a monster season, I'm not gonna bitch about him. I'm not either. What 2.5, 3 years ago, I was defending his ass. Now I'm sitting here holding his ass accountable because that's what it takes. And if he comes out and lays an egg, I'm gonna double down on my accountability to him. But if he starts playing the way he once did, I'm gonna be there. I'll be his biggest cheerleader. That's what it is. That's what it deserves at that point.
Let me tell you a secret. I was a New O'Donnell fan.
Yes.
And I liked him a lot. And then he threw them Super Bowl, them interceptions and lost the game. Guess what? Then I hated him.
Yeah. It's
that simple. If you do good, people are going to like you. If you don't live up to the amount of money, in this particular case that we're talking about, this is why he's catching heat. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not people don't like the guy. He's not an unlikable person. The fact of the matter is we as fans look at that and say, okay, well, he's making this much money. I would like to see at least this. And I don't think that's unfair. again, at the end of the day, Mike. So let's continue on the board. Let's go here. Mark Malone says he could spare a few of those brain cells. Tortilla says too late. Tyrone says this. Ty says, Tater, shut the F up. And the whole Browns organization is worth nothing. Let's go here to Lindsay. He's not a Browns fan anymore, Tyrone. That is crazy. I can't believe it. Tater is a 49er fan. Let's go here to Tortilla because maybe you have inside information about your team. Okay, going back to the gambling. Yeah, but can't anybody? I mean, it seems like it should have more chapters of why gambling. At the end of the day, if you're 21 years old, you're legal to gamble. That's what the Constitution. That's what you're allowed to do. I know that you have a policy in your NFL and this, but at the end of the day, I think it should be broken down and it should be dissected a little bit more. That's just me. Let's continue down on the board right here to this right where Tortilla says maybe you have a buddy on UCLA who told you. Yeah, but I mean, can't that be the case for anything then? Maybe I know a guy that is a backup is a corner defensive back coach for Cleveland. Maybe I gave him some secrets. I'm not gambling. I could call him on my phone and tell him secrets. So at the end of the day, I don't know. Let's go here to Tortilla. Tortilla do be saying this on the board. Tortilla says this. I just know that why these leagues are sponsored by the damn guy. Okay, you don't know. And listen, that's my initial take. I hated it when it started. But now that it's here, I guess I have to, revise my opinions. He says, I just don't like why these leagues are sponsored by the damn gambling sites. That seems like a conflict of interest or something. It 100% does.
Well, my favorite is you'll have places like ESPN and they have their own gambling site and they'll have this article broken down about, Sorsby, bet on the game. Is it calling the league into question? Click this article and hey, don't forget to go to our bet app and put in Sorby 15 for 15% off.
Yeah.
It's like the hypocrisy that goes on right now with all this stuff in here. It makes me laugh. I'm all for gambling.
It's become the storyline of the United States of America, Mike. Everybody is a hypocrite. Believe me. If you follow social media at all, you see real quick how that certainly applies. Let's go to right here. Special teams for sure, Lindsay says. Let's go to Ronald. Ronald, always great seeing you. He says, trade up for who? I remember just 6 months ago, people were saying Tomlin and the Steelers were so hot for Lenore Sellers. Now, look, Sellers is barely a fifth round. And that's what I'm saying. I can't make the call until I see this play out. I just can't. I mean, it's impossible. You could create the buzz with your take. But isn't that what everybody that really doesn't know what they're talking about is doing? Just throwing it out there. Let's go right here to Tyrone. My man Tyrone says this. He says, it is what it is. It's none I'm used to. They all want him gone. Bet. Let's go here to Somber. Somber says Patrick Queen, most to lose, Muth, most to gain. I agree on both of those. I really do. I mean, this is a big fork in the road for Patrick Queen, Mike. Again, whatever happens this year is going to affect him, whether it's in the black and gold or elsewhere. So I hope that he has a good year, and you'd expect it as well. You'd think, right?
You would think. I'm hoping he has a major bounce back, and it's the way the defensive game plan is going to be totally different. Maybe this will allow Queen to play more effective, faster, looser. This is probably not going to make him tackle any better, but maybe he'll be there earlier to get into a better position to tackle. Right. Maybe he won't have to fight off offensive linemen to make the tackle. So you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going through their head when they're out there, what they're thinking when they're trying to make that tackle, shit like that. It's all the little things that go on in the game. So hopefully the game plan and the scheme will help someone like Queen improve.
Let's go right here. Aaron, always great seeing Aaron with the Rockets. Here we go, Steelers. Hope you had a great weekend, my friend. We were just 97 days away from the kickoff here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know we're all getting a little bit more excited every day that goes by, Mike. Again, can you even believe that we're already past the first week of June? Mike, this will be wrapping up the first half of the year when this month concludes.
Insane.
It truly is. Lindsay says this. No one actually wants him gone, though. He will be paid. Tyrone says the most to lose Eccles. You know what? And also to gain
good
Bernard.
call.
Those are two great things because again, Mike, as a rookie, Bernard could gain a lot by having a good season here. He could be thrusted into the third spot. He could it could put him in a lot of positions, Mike, to accomplish achievements. Also, Mike, Brandon Eccles also good as well. What's your thoughts?
I think he might be. I mean, not and because if Dalen Everett can play inside and outside, and he does well on the inside corner spot, that's going to be that's a spot where Eccles played. And Eccles didn't play bad last year. I thought he played pretty well. So
he had a good season.
He's fighting for a spot. There's a lot of good battles that we're looking at, and that's not a bad thing to have right now.
Absolutely not. Let's go right here to Tortilla. He's saying Broderick Jones and Keanu Benton. A couple more good ones. Yeah. Lindsay's saying Will Howard is staying. Mason can go. I ultimately agree. I think if you're gonna lose one of these three, I think I cut Mason. That's just me. Lindsay says Johnson was our third round pick. He's staying too. Somber says nah. Even if TJ has 15 sacks, how much longer is he going to play realistically? That's a good question. I've been asking the same thing about Cam Hayward for years. Cam's still hanging in there. Like he has his eyes on that. He wants to be that player that has the longest career with the Steelers ever. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to stop Cam Hayward from playing that many games. I refuse to believe it. Like he could go down to game one this year and be out all season. I promise you that'll just tack on a whole nother year on his career. He is hell bent on having that record.
I think so too. And
he wants to be remembered as being a special Steeler, the most special. Yes. I'm telling you,
the most Steeler of all time.
Yes.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more.
And it's Cam's all about his ego.
Because Ben, on the other hand, who's getting his record passed, was involved in 2 Super Bowl wins and a third total. Cam Hayward was involved in nothing.
Nothing, yeah, and literally nothing. Maybe a playoff win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there you go. What can you do? Let's go on right here to Lindsay. Yeah, I can't wait until TJ proves you wrong. And you know what? I hope. Listen, she says this. Let me finish. Hope she can't wait till TJ proves you all wrong. In my mouth will be running. Just FYI, and I hope that it is. Believe me, Lindsay. I want you to be on here talking trash because if you're talking trash, that means we're looking good, and that is not going to offend me or affect me or anything one bit. I hope you're right. At the end of the day, again, we try to fill space for 6 months out of the year and say things, but at the end of the day, I ultimately want what you want, and Mike ultimately wants what I want, and Ty ultimately wants what he wants. We want our team to be good, and a lot of things in the off season. We're just trying to figure it out and put the pieces together. Yeah. I would rather have Lindsay running her mouth for those 6 months than not. I'm just saying. Let's go here to Tortilla till this 90 Deadpool. I'd never seen Deadpool, so I apologize for not getting the reference. Mike May, though. Tyrone says Lindsay. And I apologize. I'm just not a superhero guy. I don't ever. The only time I ever really got into it, Mike, was whenever they had the Batman movie at Heinz Field.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a little. I don't like. I'm just not into it. I don't know.
That's all right. Yeah, I got the reference.
And Derpy,
I got your reference. I chuckled on the inside though, Tortilla.
They always do their the nerd show on Sunday, and that suffices. I mean, that's good enough for me. I don't have to know about it, but I'm excited that people do here on the network. Let's do Scoot Along right here. Lindsay says, "No, I'm talking so much." No, you're good. Believe me. I need you.
Wait, if he lays an egg,
but that's got to be the other side.
Vanilla Thunder is going to be on here talking a lot of shit.
That has to be the other side, Lindsay.
Yeah.
That you.
I want him to do well. Like I said, 2.5 years ago, I was pounding the table for this guy when he was being criticized and he was putting up numbers. Now that he's not, I'm holding his feet to the fire because that's what we have to do.
So again, I do hope that you are correct. I truly, honestly do. There's nothing I would want more than for him to have a great year.
Yeah. I want you running your mouth about how awesome TJ Watt is. I want Tyrone running his mouth on how awesome JPJ's doing. I want Mark Malone talking how awesome Magnum's doing as a backup.
Yinzer Joe says this: Steelers should let Mason Rudolph go. The young guys need a chance. They'll have. I agree. They'll save some money too. It's got to be time for Mason here eventually. Let somebody else become the backup. It's just the next natural move. At some point, it has to happen. It has to. Let's go to agree Yinzer Joe's what Ty is saying. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe is saying this: is Eccles gone? How about Asante Samuel? If not, who's released? I hope they'll find a way to keep. I hope and pray they'll find a way to keep them both. The quarterback depth needed to be deeper last year, in my opinion.
Like there's a lot of depth there. Like, but you got what? Porter, Dean, Samuel, Everett, Eccles, Ramsey. But Ramsey's kind of that odd guy because he can play corner, safety. Is it Eccles might make it? It all depends on how many they want to keep.
Absolutely. Let's go right here. Let's go to Somber. Somber says, what's the average age of edge rushers when they retire? That's a good question. That could be the question of the day one day. That sounds like something that I would ask. Somber, what's the average age of edge rushers when they retire? Good question. Let's go to Tortilla. He says, my guess is like 33. Ty is saying 34. Somber says, I tried to Google it. Couldn't really find a concrete answer or even a range. Yeah, that wouldn't be a tough one to find. Just, the computers, it does a good job. It does a good job when the stuff's actually easy to find. And it's like, oh, I could have fucking did that myself anyway. When you want like a really in-depth answer, that computer's dumb as hell. I don't know. Is it just me? Let's go here. Somber says, based on what though? A guess? Somber says, Ty. Let's go down past this. Okay, right here. Lindsay, I think TJ plays 2 more years, to be honest. Tortilla says, Google AI gave me 2 different answers when I looked it up, 29 to 33. And then the second one is 31 to 35.
Yeah, that's what I found too. Like the most common was usually around 31 is when they start declining and like they start retiring right there. And some of them hang on to like 36, 37 range. So usually you're more or less effective until you're like your real early 30s. Then, the wear and tear of the league just takes away your effectiveness. We're starting to see it on some of these guys, man. Their speed is going away.
Lindsay says this: you've been talking shit on TJ, Mike Vanilla. Also, Somber says, gotta love AI. I know that's something like when I do that for a trivia question. Sometimes it gives me one answer, and then like I'll ask the question, and we Google it, and it gives you like a totally different answer. So who knows? Who knows what the hell's going on out there? Let's go to Tortilla, bro. It gave me a third answer, 28 to 23.
Like, is Benjamin Button out there?
Yes.
28 to 23.
Dr. Seuss AI is what Tortilla is saying. Somber. Oh, okay, Tyrone. I just saw your message. Yeah, I don't know either. Somber also says, bet so these next 2 years will tell us what we need to know. And then finally here on the message board, I do want to say what's up to 007 on the board. As always, great seeing you, brother. He says this: Mercedes Lewis is the oldest tight end in NFL history, setting the record by playing into his age 41 season with the Broncos.
That dude just did not go away.
Last thing I want to talk about, Mike, as we are rounding third, I want to talk about the ingenious hot take by the fat man in the Berg, Mike. It was brought to my attention on Saturday. Summer says this. We'll see how many snaps Lewis gets. Guys, so our professional media, the really fat one, he comes out the other day and says, what, Mike? What did he say?
He said that the Steelers are all in this year.
So this was the new hot take from the fat man. No shit. We didn't bring in Jamal Dean. We didn't bring in Michael Pittman. We didn't bring in Rico. We didn't bring in 15 fucking guys to stay competitive. And shit breath up there saying, like, now, on June 6th, 7th, or 8th, whichever day it was, is just now saying that he believes that the Steelers are all in. This is all I'm saying. Fucking ridiculous, Mike. As always, I'm not going to go on and on.
Yeah.
Just again, what people turn to every time they want to hear their Pittsburgh sports news.
Yeah.
Mike, he's just now saying that the Steelers are all in. My bad. I thought that we were fucking again. Point proven, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like we've been talking about this for years on here. They're building a team ever since Colin and Weedle took over. Like you and I say, build in the lines, adding veterans on these short-term deals
so
in and out to remain competitive while having good drafts, stacking it. We just thought like this would be the year they would get their franchise quarterback in the draft and that would take off. So no, we're just running it back with Aaron Rodgers as a placeholder. And it looks like we're all in because of these moves we made. No, this is what we've been doing since Colin and Weedle took over. It's just now the talent is there to where we can make a serious run. We thought it would just be with our young gun, not the old retired hand. Like how anyone can say, oh, they've gone all in this year with a straight face. Who covers the team on a daily basis either is disingenuous or does not know what they are talking about. And I don't know which one is scarier.
Yeah. Somber says they just drafted Justin Jolly. And finally, Tortilla says Kabuli ate all the hot takes. I meant hot cakes. You know what? And I got to throw an extra game ball there on that one. It was funny, made me chuckle. Tortilla, Mike, go ahead and tell us about the website.
Head on over to the2dumyinzers.com. We got all your fun articles over there. We got all your social media links for Ryan and I. And if this is your sort of thing, we got the merch store. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, people. A lot of cool things over at the website. Again, Mike does a lot of work over there at www.d2dumyinzers.com. That's www.d2dumyinzers.com. Question of the day. A lot of talk, of course, Mike, lately and moving forward about JPJ. So I'm going to keep it in the position and have a cornerback question for the day, Mike. We're going to stay with the cornerbacks. Put on your thinking caps, everybody. Mike, put yours on as well. Here we go. Question of the day. How many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor have in his career? Of course, JPJ's interceptions is a topic of conversation. So the question of the day, how many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor have in his career? Of course, always known for having a couple of nubs at the end of his arms, not completing a lot of these interceptions that maybe he should have had. Question at the end of the day, Mike, is this what?
I'm sorry. And my kid walked by, stopped, stood at my door, stared at me, looked at me, and goes, just rolled his eyes at me and walked away. I'm sorry.
All right. So the question of the day is this: how many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor have in his career? Again, Mike, JPJ has what's he have? 1, 2 at this point? I don't know.
2. I think he had 2 last year.
All right, so I'm seeing some different answers on the board, Mike. This is what's being said. Tortilla is saying 8. Yinzer Joe saying 15. Ike Taylor had 15 interceptions in his career in regular season. Also, Tyrone is saying 24. And it might have been Mike eating the hotcakes as well. Yes,
Whoa!
Mike, you focus. You just focus on what you got to focus on.
I'm trying not to look at
as you get sidetracked and everything else. What, Mike? What's the amount of interceptions Ike Taylor had in his career? And you want me to give you a hint?
Yeah.
He played from 03 to 14, like 11 seasons with the Steelers. If that makes it any easier for you, in 11 years with the Steelers, Mike, how many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor have? Take a minute to think it over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
On the Tube.
Mike, he had a 12-year career, Andrew Joe is saying, from the years 03 to 14. Mike, how many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor? Tyrone is saying 6 on the board now. What is your thought process?
I'm gonna go with 10.
10? That's not 10. A bad guess.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
My final answer will be 10.
All right, I'm seeing 8, 15, 24. Mike says 10, and Mike is locked in on 10. Again, the question of the day is this: how many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor have in his career with the Steelers? He played from 03 to 14. Somber saying Colin Cowherd pushing for a TJ trade. He hates us, then he loves us, then he hates us again. Yeah. JPJ has 3 is what Ty. Okay, we got you on that. He got 3 so far. And Mike says 10. I think it's more than 13 is what Yinzer Joe is saying. So a lot of different answers on the board, guys. I do want to say before I do reveal the answer, it has not been selected. Nobody has correctly guessed the answer so far. Again, guys, a lot of different answers on the board. Give you just another moment if you want to throw up a guess. If you think you might know it, even if you don't, you just want to throw it up there to see if you could get it. It's all good. Do that as well, guys. Again, at the end of the day, the question is this. Tortilla is now saying 34. How many regular season interceptions did Ike Taylor have in his career in Pittsburgh from 03 to 14? How many interceptions? And the answer, guys, is some people were close. Mike, you weren't even that far off. 14 interceptions in his career.
Ooh.
14 interceptions in his career with the Steelers in the regular season. He also had postseason interceptions as well. As a matter of fact, a big one to send us to the Super Bowl or somewhere abouts, I do recall at one point. Regular season interceptions, guys, 14. Ike Taylor in his career. Mike, will Joey Porter Jr. have more, less, or the same when he finally is not a Steeler anymore?
I'm going to go with this. Go less. I'm going to go less.
You're going to go less?
I'm going to go less. Yeah.
To have less interceptions than Ike Taylor is what you're saying is gonna.
Yeah, like they both have generational bad hands.
All right, interesting. Technically, Yinzer Joe wasn't wrong. You're right. He could have said more than one, and anything would have certainly got him the answer correctly. I was over and under. Yinzer Joe says, let's go to Chad. Always great seeing Chad on the terrible board. My man, Chad Schrader, he says this. What's up, Ryan and Mike? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go, baby. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm ready. And Chad, as we were saying earlier, there's only 97 days till the Steelers kick it off at home to start off the season. So, guys, Mike, again, I remember being 97 to 100 days away from the draft. It'll be here before we know it. It really will. Guys, the summer is underway. Chad was saying less on that one, Mike. Also, Tyrone is saying 11. What else do we got going on? What else we got going on here? Mike, OTAs today, OTAs tomorrow, OTAs Thursday, OTAs Friday, and then that will wrap up OTAs for the year, Mike. And then we'll be back at camp at the end of July here in Latrobe. Actually, not here at all. Mike, but there is 97 days. OTAs this week are going to wrap up. So we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely.
It's getting closer every day. I can't wait. You know, like I keep saying, man, I want to hear the pads pop and helmets crack in. I want to see fights. I want to see fire. I want to see what this new offense can do, this new defense can do. It can't get here fast enough, dude. But thankfully, we do have the best Steeler fans out there here every day to talk to. You guys are just the best, man. And you're making they made the off season so much better, dude.
Absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. Believe me, if there was, we would be. That's the thing. I just love everybody here. Love what we're doing. And again, we're having a lot of fun with it. So let's look right here, Mike. I'm going to look back at Chad. Chad is saying less. So that's on the interceptions with Joey and Ike is what he's saying. So he's saying less than. He's saying about 11. Tyrone is saying about 11. He's saying more. Joe says he'll have more pass breakups than Taylor. I'm sorry, like Taylor did. Tyrone, my man, we appreciate you, sir. Great show, you bastards. As always, we appreciate you, Ty. And then Joe says this. He says just because he can't catch. LOL. Totally understandable. There, guys. We will be back tomorrow at our regular time to get into a whole lot more. Mike will be following the stories from today that happens in OTAs. We'll be getting ready for tomorrow at OTAs tomorrow. And then again, Mike, they'll be off Wednesday. They'll be back Thursday, Friday. And that will wrap up the last session of the OTAs. As again, we're just 97 days away from the Steelers kicking it off in the regular season at Acrisure Stadium, Mike. The home game to kick off against the Atlanta Falcons. I can't wait. I can't wait
either. I can't wait. You can taste it. You can smell it.
You too, Yinzer. Joe, thank you so much, brother. A couple things before we do get ready to take off for the day, Mike. As you are enjoying your summer, as I'm sure most people are, guys, to stop by, if you need refreshed in the summer heat, Mike, stop by and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. Everybody, it's now available in 6 and 12 packs at Giant Eagle and wherever cases are sold. The people at Duquesne Pilsner are always helping us out with things, so we like to do the same for them. Swing by, pick up some Duquesne Pilsner. If you're not a big beer drinker, that's fine. Go check them out on social media. Hit the follow button. It'll all help them guys out over there, and I'm sure they will appreciate it. And Mike, we always do have Duquesne Pilsner here in the studio on tap for every event that comes along, made right here in Pittsburgh. I do want to say, Mike, it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab it, Duke.
Also, guys, as people are on the way out, I do want to say everybody have a great day. In case we don't catch you in case you're not sticking around to the end, hope everybody has a good one. Vegas, Tortilla, Yinzer Joe, everybody, have a great day. Mike, a few more things before we do wrap it up, though. I'm going to say this, along with Duquesne Pilsner, you can always check us out on social media as well, as we are on Facebook, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing by and hit the follow button. Keep up with what's going on with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. And finally, if you haven't yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, hit the share, the sub, comment, anything like that will help. Certainly will help in the algorithm and help the show out. And we appreciate it all. Thank you so much. Mike, your thoughts on today's show?
We're not all in, Kamoli. We've been building to this moment. Yeah, just hand in your press credentials. You're an idiot. Omar Khan, get JPJ extended, because obviously you've shown that your negotiating skills are legendary. Your contracts are I don't know what they are other than amazing, because like we talked about, how like these big contracts you just handed out are 2-year deals. Basically, you can figure something out with JPJ. Like the sticker shock, is going to surprise a lot of people. But once you dig into his new contract, the way you did with these two guys, you're going to see like these are team friendly deals that this team's going to be ready to rock and roll. For
Mike, your take, yes
time.
or no? Nothing else in between. Does JPJ get taken care of before camp starts?
No.
Okay, let's move along. I do want to say this. I thank you for your take, Mike.
Yep.
I do want to say this, guys. We do appreciate everybody. We want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We surely appreciate each and every one of you. We wouldn't do without you. Thank you so much to everybody. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board, guys. You do keep the show you keep it interesting. You are the lifeblood of the show, and we couldn't thank you enough. We couldn't appreciate you anymore. I want to say thank you so much to everybody on the board. You are an amazing group of people, and we couldn't again appreciate you any more than we do already. I want to say thank you to everybody that's at home, perhaps in your car, in the gym, at work, listening, watching, whatever the case may be. Thank you to. We want to give mad thank you to everybody that may be supporting the show and has in the past and will in the future. Thank you so much, Mike. We will be back tomorrow at our regular time to get into again the OTAs. Who knows? I can't wait to get on and find out the new scoop and stories of everything from today. I'm sure there's going to be plenty, but we will be back tomorrow to get back into that and everything that does come along. The Pittsburgh Pirates are off today, Mike. They don't play till tomorrow as they start that series against the Dodgers. But finally, the NBA does have a game. This is game 3, Mike. This one's at Madison Square Garden. The Spurs down 2-0. They're traveling to New York City to play the Knicks tonight, Mike, in game 3 of this series. My Knicks are up 2-0. Mike, your Spurs got to get back.
Yeah,
they got to get in the win column, and then also, Mike, NHL, you're down in game 2, so you got to get up to date or get caught up at least with one of these series to keep it interesting.
I need you. I'm falling behind. I don't like this. I can handle it if my Spurs won a game, but they haven't won, and I'm getting itchy. I'm getting twitchy. I don't like this.
All right, so there you go. Check that out tonight. Again, what else? Monday wrestling. If you're a wrestling person, check out your wrestling tonight too. But we will be back tomorrow at our regular time to get back into it all right here on the Two Dum Yinzers. Mike, I'm just going to swing around here. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Anything?
I got nothing. Have a great day, everyone.
Yes, guys, have a great one. Try to keep cool. I know it's getting hot out there, and I know the weather isn't exactly great everywhere. So if you are in areas where there are dangers or warnings, do stay safe and get to wherever you need to, because, again, you don't get another one of these lives, just one. So, guys, I hope everybody has a great Monday. Stay safe. We can't wait to see everybody back tomorrow for more Steelers Scoop and Talk. That will all be coming up on Tuesday, June 9th, right here tomorrow. We hope to see everybody then. I do believe that's it. Thank you so much for Somber Tortilla. Everybody saying bye. Peace on the board. Peace to you as well. For everybody here at the show, for Derpy Finch, RB Chop, Mike, myself, the Two Dum Yinzers, I do want to say, guys, have a great Monday. Stay safe. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.